Welcome to another episode of the Blemished Beauty Podcast. This podcast was designed with you in mind. If you're ready to erase the norm and embrace the truth, come pull up a chair, grab a journal, and tell a friend that your favorite Jersey girl is back with another episode. So let's get into it.
Hey y'all, so I would like to welcome you to another bonus episode of the Blemished Beauty Podcast. I am your host, Cher Renee, and tonight we are going to be talking about Beyond the Papers, life after divorce. So I had to come on and bring a couple of people with me because y'all know, if y'all been listening to the podcast, that I am a divorcee. So I had to bring on a couple of people that are also divorcees so we can have a roundtable discussion about all things divorce, our life after divorce, maybe a little bit during a divorce, and whatever we can think of. So after this interlude, I'm going to bring up Mr. Thomas Croft, Pastor Corey Jarena, and Crystal Graham. Hey y'all.
Hello.
How are y'all doing?
Good. I'm good.
It's Corey. Hold on. I'm trying to see because his mic is muted. But anyway, we're gonna start. Oh, there you go. Your mic is muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You're good now. Okay, I want to start off first by thanking y'all for coming. And then, since a lot of people may or may not know y'all, tell the people who you are. We're going to start off with Thomas, and then Crystal, and then Corey.
Yo, what up, though? My name is Thomas. As she said, co-host of the Big Three Man Talk podcast, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and IG. I'm 41 years old from Detroit, Michigan, and I'm just here to try to, give my thoughts and opinions on this topic. So let's get it.
You can't hear you.
Technical difficulties, y'all. I apologize. Hold on one second. Okay, Crystal, it's on you.
All right.
Tell the people who you are.
Hi, my name is Crystal. I'm from North Carolina. And as Sheree said earlier, we are divorcees. So we are just here tonight to talk about life after the papers. And I am 39 years young. And that's it.
I like that. 39 years young.
That's right. Young, not old.
Yes, young. Period. All right, Corey.
All right, I just have to share it on my profile. Hey everybody. Everybody know who I am. It's Corey. It's your boy. I'm just here to give my commentary on this subject. I'm a divorcee. I'm 34, have 2 children, and I'm the pastor of Round Pack Center Inc. Let's get it.
All right, y'all. So I got a couple of questions. And if you guys are watching in the comments, if you have questions, you can also put them in the chat. Um, so we're gonna start off with some questions, and then we could just flow with the conversation. We might not get through all of them, but if we do, that's what's up. If we don't, that's what's up. Either way, it's gonna be good. First question: how did you navigate the emotional challenges of divorce and come out stronger on the other side? So we're gonna start off with Crystal, then Thomas, and then Corey.
Um, Honestly, because you guys know I'm a church girl. Prayer. Prayer got me through communication with God. Friends. I had some great friends, a great support system. Um, just shifting my focus off of it's easier said than done, but shifting my focus, but most importantly, God and prayer. Simple answer.
All right,
Thomas.
well, for me, oh well, for me, how I got through it pretty much just, you know, just going through the motions too. Just trying to make sure I'm better. Make sure my finances are still straight. Make sure, that I can be a better person. So, because I do want to be married again. I just gotta find that right one. So, but I would want to make sure that I wanted to make sure that I'm good, and my, emotions and then my, everything is good for the next person. So I won't be bringing any of that baggage from the last marriage into a new one. So that's basically what I've been doing, and I've just been working on myself. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much.
For me, time, time, prayer, um, moving away, moving away, time, prayer, and moving away. Yeah.
For me, I want to say therapy. Also prayer, because when I got into my relationship in the beginning, I thought that, oh, this person is going to bring me a little closer to God because of a certain status that they had. It actually was true, but not in the way that I anticipated. So the situation did bring me closer to God because I knew that it was because of him that I survived it. So it did bring me closer to God. So that's why you got to be careful what you ask for.
Mm.
But yeah, definitely therapy and prayer, and just really tapping into my healing journey, because like Thomas said, you do want to get married again. You want to be the best version of yourself, and you don't want any residue from the old relationship walking into the new relationship. So I think that was important for me. What strategies did you find most helpful coping with the changes? I know you guys have mentioned, prayer and all other things, but did you do anything else? Like, did you start hanging around certain people? Were you around family a lot? Like, what did you guys do? What strategies did you do? Crystal, then Thomas, then Corey.
Yep. As I said earlier, the support system was great. So yeah, I definitely hung around. I also moved. I moved from, the city we were living in back home. Um, I I stayed busy. Like, even though I sat and I accepted what happened, because you have to see it and you have to think about some things. You have to sort your life back out together. Um, I wasn't in a marriage like super long, like 10 years or anything. So it didn't take a whole lot from me, or either I'm just a tough as nails person, one. But it's mind over matter. I couldn't let my emotions, just control me fully. I had to let my, spirit man override my flesh. So shifting that focus, staying around positive people, people that can speak life and health into you. Because it's so easy to drift off and be like, oh man, I failed at that. Oh my God, I'm a failure. It's so easy. So your mindset has to really be strong. You have to know that your failures aren't fatal. You have to know that sometimes we're going to fail in life, and you really have to keep a positive mindset and shift your focus. Shift your focus off, oh my God, everything bad is happening, but what can you see good out of that situation?
I like
So,
that you said that your failures are not fatal. That's a nice mindset to look at concerning that. Go ahead, Thomas.
All right. Well, for me, I was in the military still when I got divorced. So I pretty much had, you know, my military buddies, my battle buddies, kind of just supporting me and stuff. And um, uh, uh, as far as like what would take my mind off of it, I mean, I just did my hobbies, playing my video game, staying to myself because I'm pretty much an introvert anyway, so I don't really be around people all the time like that, like I used to. Um, and I pretty much just took a lot of time just learning myself, learning my abilities, learning more about me, and also learning more about what marriage is really all about because I really didn't know what I didn't really know anything about marriage when I got married. We both didn't. So that's kind of how our marriage kind of failed quickly because we both pretty much kind of just got married just to be married, kind of, saying just for the title. So once I actually started learning more about what marriage really is all about, it actually made my mind, a lot better. It actually, educated me more. So now I know exactly what to look for whenever I do get married again. I know exactly what to look for. I know what marriage is about, and I know I'll be ready for it. So that's what kind of helped me cope with it.
Corey.
Uh, I was alone. Basically, I was by myself. It was not, and I'm the one that did the divorce. And the crazy thing was, I found myself crying. I don't know if y'all did, but I literally found myself sitting at the edge of the bed crying. I'm the one that did the paperwork. I'm the one that put the divorce in. And I literally was, I never forget, I was on my bed and I was crying. Because believe it or not, I tell people divorce is almost like a death. It's like the person is still living, but what you had was gone. And sometimes you could be in that moment, and that's why you got to be careful, because you could be in the moment of your feelings and your emotions, and you'll be mad, you'll say stuff, you'll do stuff that you really don't even mean. It's because you're just in that moment. And you know, when I got divorced, I was alone. I didn't have nobody. I didn't have nobody. Wow, who did I? Yeah, well, I have my spiritual mom. She was there for me, but like someone being there close to my vicinity, no. Everybody was like far away. Excuse me. So it was my spiritual mom to help me cope through that. And of course, my story with the next relationship I got into. But other than that, it was a learning experience, something that I would never go through again. So like my next marriage is like divorce is not an option. Like we're gonna cope through, get through our feelings, get through our emotions, communicate, and work through. So for me, it was hard. Um, I will not go through that again. So yeah.
So that ties into my next question. I was going to say, I don't know if you guys dealt with it because you are the men, but did you struggle with your self-worth, like rebuilding your identity and tapping back into your strength and who you were? I know you said you were crying, Corey. So did you have to kind of like reaffirm yourself? And then, with Crystal saying your about your failures, you do figure out, okay, what did I do? Maybe I could have did this, maybe I could have
Mm.
did that. Like, how did you rebuild that and shift your mindset? Because it is like a death. I definitely agree with you, and a lot of people don't understand it. It is like a death, whether you initiated it or not, because I don't believe nobody actually goes into a marriage and says, I'm going to be with this
Right.
person for like 2 years and then we're divorcing.
Right.
Like, you intend for it to be forever. You
Right.
spend every day with this person, and it's like to go through your life never knowing them, to being completely in love with them, to having to go back to no longer being with them, it's like, how do you navigate through that swiftly? Like, so did you guys have to rebuild your self-worth or identity at any point? Anybody can take that.
I mean, like I said, I was just learning myself. You know what I'm saying? Because it's been some times where I would, catch myself being like not crying, but like very, very like just upset and lonely and just like lost. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when I'm feeling lost about it, it's like I have to continue to keep, just reminding myself, you know, for one, why the divorce had to happen, and what I need to learn from this divorce.
Mm.
So, only thing I pretty much kind of just was learning more about my, what I'm saying, what I contribute to the divorce, like, what I'm saying, because it ain't always the other person. So, I had to, keep reminding myself, like, okay, I know what I did wrong. Now I need to, to learn from it. I need to fix it. So it took me a minute. Like I said, I think I've already told you about this, Shira, but it took me about a year and a half before I even got into another relationship after my divorce. So, I really had to take some time to really learn myself and really fix any of the problems that, I contribute to the marriage. So it was just a learning experience. It was just me just learning, and like I said, whenever I found myself lost, I pretty much kind of just had to sit to myself and really think about, okay, you know what you did wrong. How can you fix it? Let's saying, do some research on what a marriage is all about, and let's learn. And so that way I won't make those mistakes again. So I learned from it, and I learned that, hey, okay, I mean, of course nobody's perfect, but saying, there are a lot of things that I definitely could fix, to make my next marriage better. So that's basically what it was with me.
Corey or Crystal?
For me, I don't feel like I tied my identity into, again, I'm a whole different breed. Everybody be like, you just get over something so fast. I let go and let God. But I don't feel like I tied my identity into it. So what I had to relearn was not my identity, was facing people. I was ashamed. I was it to me, marriage, going through the divorce part was embarrassing. So it wasn't an identity crisis for me because I know who I am, I know whose I am. I didn't get that far out there. I didn't let depression, all that overtake me. Was I sad about it? Yeah. Um, and we were young. We were super young. So, as he said earlier, sometimes you just gotta acknowledge your part in the situation. So embarrassment and shame facing people is what I had to regroup with. It wasn't an identity crisis. I stayed true to myself. I held my identity integrity. He did the same, and that's basically it. It wasn't an identity for me. It was like, oh man, people know. Oh man, we appeared so happy, and which we were. Little situation came and I don't have no patience. I was like, forget it, I'm out. I don't play. So, that's something I know to work on and have been working on over the years because I've been divorced since like 2009. So, yeah. So I've had plenty of time to work on it. Not all the way there yet. Because my patience is super thin. But it's a work in progress.
At least you honest. I'm proud of you.
Oh yeah, I'll tell the truth.
Corey.
I feel you on that one. I feel you. For me, it's almost the same. It was the church. The church that we're going to. They were very old school, and I mean old school to the bone. You got set down. I got set down. Got stripped from my title. I couldn't preach, couldn't do praise and worship, couldn't pray. Um, and it
Mm.
was really the embarrassment because technically we were supposed to keep it a hush hush because at the time she had nowhere to live, and I was, I had a 3-bedroom apartment, so I was like, listen, you take one room, I take the other, and my goal was to start all over. Maybe we could just restart, you know what I'm saying, redo this over to see like what, you know and I never forget, I was like, we're going to not tell nobody. The only people that knew was the pastor and another pastor. And they came to counsel us. And I didn't like them because for me, they was biased. Because no, I didn't, because it was biased because they knew her. You know what I'm saying? They knew her. They grew up with her. They watched her grow up. So of course you're gonna take her side over my side. I'm a Capricorn. So I'm just like just going back and forth with the person. And I never forget one Sunday, uh, it was praise and worship, and they was old school. They back then they did testimony service. So I stood up singing my song. I never forget. Paydays coming after a while. Put your time in. Paydays coming after a while. It's a fast old song, right? And I'm singing the song. Crowds going. Everybody's going. And I was like, I just thank God. And I really was just testifying, just thanking God that paid. I wasn't even thinking about my divorce or nothing. I was just like, God, I thank you for what's coming, because whatever's coming, I'm thanking you for it. And her auntie stands up in the church. And I was like, Lord, I thank you. So we sung the song. She's like, it sure is. Huh? And I was like, do I turn this church out and we could be on the news? Or like, what we gonna do here? Like, it was so embarrassing. And so I called the pastor and I told her that night, I said, you ain't gotta worry about me ever coming back here. I would not come back here again. That's it. Because one thing I don't like to be embarrassed. Two, right after service, she told her auntie. I mean, she told her uncle. So then I was like, why did you do that? We were supposed to keep it quiet and see what we could do to fix it, this, that, and the other. And it was just a debacle, which is crazy. So that was that. So for me, it was not an identity, it was just the embarrassment. And plus I got the divorce quick. We were only married a year and 6 months. And it's crazy because they just entered a law where you didn't have to wait the 6 months or the 3 months or whatever it is, right? And I made a deal with God. I prayed about it. I made a deal with God. I said, listen, if the papers come in the mail beforehand, then I'm gonna get divorced. If it doesn't come before the 2 weeks, then I'm gonna stay. So y'all already know what happened. The papers came beforehand. So I did what I had to do. And it was crazy, like fights, and not just her, but like with her family. It was just a lot of stuff. And it comes to the point where it's like, okay, God, my next move is gonna be my best move, which I thought, which it wasn't. But anyway, we ain't gonna even get into all that. But I said I promised God that this time, I'm 34 years old. I was 26 then, so I'm 34 now. So I said, my next marriage is gonna be my best marriage. There's no throwing in the towel. I want to be able to do counseling, do couples counseling, do marriage counseling, or whatever I have to do to be the best man that I can be to the woman I'm supposed to be with. A lot of times we are made to do stuff because of church. We were rushed to get married because of church, because I just became a minister. And it was just crazy because I wanted to take her on the trip with me. Like, we going on a church trip, you want somebody to come with you. And the pastor's like, well, y'all not gonna be shacking up in the hotel. Which we already had one minister that was shacking up. I was like, I could have just shacked up like he did. But we can't do what everybody else do. Your life is not geared to what everybody else does. I did the right thing. I went on ahead and got married. And it's crazy because when the day of our wedding, I never forget, she called Bell's falsely. She called Bell's falsely on the day of the wedding. And everybody was like, you should cancel. And we were going to cancel. But her mother was like, you are not gonna cancel. That's how she talked. You're not gonna cancel. You gonna get married. You gonna marry up. And y'all going to the hospital after. It was so crazy. So I was like, okay. Went to the hospital, found out it was Bell's palsy. And right then and there, I said, you know what? I'm ready to be a husband. Because anybody else, they would have got up and they would have just left. Right. And I always think to myself, that's important to me. Because what if you lose your leg? What if you can't speak? What if just life just be life and things just be happening that we don't know? Get into a car accident, fire, anything. are you still gonna love me? Because like I'm that type of man. Like I'm gonna love you through the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent. So it's like, yeah, for me right now, being 34 years old, it's a lot. Like because I don't want to go through that again. Divorce is painful. Um, and I'm not, we're not doing that. So for me, it was the embarrassment of the church, especially when you're in church heavy and you're known and everybody know you and you have a title, you've been preaching, and now everybody looking at you like you having a baby out of wedlock. Like, like it's the end of the world. Like, that's the embarrassing. But now if which is not gonna happen, but if it did, if I had to get a divorce again, I could chuck that thing up and keep it moving because you're not God. So, but I learned my lesson. I really learned my lesson. Yeah.
I definitely agree with you in regards to the embarrassment because my ex-husband was of a particular stature in the church. So it definitely was a deciding factor on the longevity of how long we stayed married because of the facade, right? Like Crystal, you were saying, oh, y'all look so cute, the pictures and this and that and the third. But are you really happy? You know what I'm saying? So it's like it came to a point where it's just like, it's either going to be me or my peace, one of the two. So I chose my peace. But since you guys have been married before, when you are entering new relationships, do you have the same type of patience? Or well, Crystal, you already said your patience is thin, child. But like, okay, so like say for example, you guys got into your previous relationship before getting married. Y'all waited however long, let's say 2 years, right? Do you think the time frame is going to be the same now that you are, look at Corey counting? Do you think the time frame is going to be the same now that you have passed that point already? Or like how do you guys feel about that? Do you feel like I've been there, done that, like I know what I'm looking for? I'm not trying to be doing this for life forever, 15 years being nobody's spouse. Thomas, I'll let you go first, then Crystal, then Corey.
Well, I mean, like I was saying, I mean, it's for me. I know what to look for now. Because since I've actually been learning what marriage is all about and how sacred marriage really is, now I actually know what to look for. So, um, I still don't put any timetables with it because everybody's different. Everybody's love is different. So it's like, some people can fall in love pretty quick. Other people it'll take them a little minute. It just depends on their situation. It depends on the relationship also. Um, but as far as me, I know exactly what to look for. I know exactly what kind of woman I want, and I know exactly what so just as much as I know because I am a man, what a man role is in a marriage. I know exactly what a woman's role is in marriage too, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. And say I'm not gonna be looking for anything different because of course, women need to know their role in the marriage too, also, and they need to know what they're supposed to do in a marriage when they're married to a man just as much as a man needs to know what they need to, what they need to do when they're married. So, um, like I said, just learning what marriage is all about, period. Like, I mean, it's still it's still some more to learn, I'm still learning, but I say like this, if I known, then what I know now, I don't even think I would even got married the first time.
Mm, come on.
I don't think I would have. I don't think I would have got married. I would have. Say because I would have literally pushed it. Like, all right, look, we both need to grow a little bit more because we're both immature right now.
Facts.
We two immature people do not need to be getting married. You know what I'm saying? Plain and simple. So, so the thing about it is, so like I said, somebody just commented asking me what the roles are. So I'll get into that. What I'm saying, when if she give us a question, I'm not gonna get into that right now. But yeah, just learning. I just said men and women, we both need to learn what a marriage is about. And once I start learning, I know what to look for. So I'm not gonna take anything less than what I what I prefer. That a woman for a woman to be in a marriage. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on it. Hey Ryan, I'll get to you, Ryan. That's my co-host. He in there in my comments right now, asking me about the roles. I'll get to those roles in a minute.
Crystal.
Sheree, what was your exact question? I think you had two questions in one. I just want to make sure I answer correctly.
I was asking, now that you have been married before, do you think, well, your patience, I was saying patience, but then I laughed because I thought about what you said. Um, do you think that you know a little quicker, like what to look for? Are you still is the time frame still the same, timeline still the same? Or do you think now that you know it wouldn't take all that, basically?
Yeah, I feel like now that I know, it wouldn't take all that. It was a learning experience. So, of course, if I meet somebody, I'm not gonna rush it. I'm gonna look for those flags, the green and the red, and take it with a grain of salt. And I had people around me that was like, "Hey, not yet, don't do it." I didn't listen. I own that. But yeah, I agree with everything Thomas said. Now as far as the roles and all that, we ain't even gonna get into all that. As he was saying, maybe later you can ask us that. But yeah, I don't think it would take a long time for me to spot. I'm more mature now. I can see a little bit better now. So I'd be like, yeah, this ain't it, or yeah, you know what? I think, it's potential. So it won't be as bad as it used to be.
Well, you already know my answer. Because we had this conversation previously before. I feel like I'm not going to change who I am, and I'm not going to change what I want because I know what I want. It's just that person wasn't it. So for me, I don't want to say we're building a woman or like this is what you got to do, this is what you got to have. This is not build a beer. You're gonna get the good, you're gonna get the bad. What is it that I'm willing to accept? Um, so for me, it's taking that time, and the time is not a lot of time because it don't take a lot of time to know what you want. Like, especially if you like, come on, like we know what we want, and I think that we have to be mature and be adult enough to communicate what it is that we want. So for me, I'm going to communicate what I want, and we're gonna make it happen. Like I'm not gonna change because something went wrong over there doesn't mean it's going to go wrong over here. You need to find somebody that's on the same page, on the same wavelength of what it is that you both want to do. Because everything is not about money, sex, and this and that. Where are we going? What do we want to do? What do we want to accomplish? And how are we going to move forward? My biggest thing for me this time, what will be different, is leaving family out of the equation because you don't pay no bills here and you don't live here and you can't decipher what goes on in this house. So that's one big thing for me, that if their family has to be involved, like what I just went through, it's not going to happen. Sorry. But yeah, that's my answer.
So, since everybody wants to know, Thomas, I'm going to ask you, what are the roles? Tell the people because they want to know what are the roles. And I also, too, I want you to get into your 5 keys because we talked about that on your solo episode. And I thought that was very, very dope. So, once you do your roles, and I'll let everybody comment on how they feel about your roles, then you can go into your keys. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of figured this was coming. Okay. All right. So
You did
as
it, not
far
me. That's your
no,
co-host.
actually,
Blame your
yeah, my
co-host.
co-host is the one that asked about it. All right. All right. So the thing about it is, all right, as far as the roles go, to be honest, I wasn't a firm believer in roles. I wasn't. Um, until I actually started reading more into it, mainly with the Bible. So it kind of got me thinking, okay, yeah, this it kind of does make sense. So, what I'm saying, like, as far as the men, I'm gonna start with the men first. As far as the men, we are the providers, we are the protectors, we are the educators. Um, so we pretty much lay the foundation. We lay the foundation for the relationship and the marriage. We are the head of the household. We are the head, period, in a relationship. Um, so as far as rules and decisions go through the man, but it doesn't start with the man. It doesn't. It's like this. It goes through the man, but it doesn't really end with the man. And how I say it is like this: we make decisions together. Of course, the man will more likely, most of the time, we'll say about 85% of the time, the man is gonna come up with decisions. He's gonna be like, hey, babe, I got something for you. Hey, we're gonna do this and this and this and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because more than likely, he's gonna come to his wife about some stuff anyway. If he got some big decisions, he wants his wife input because the woman is not going, it's not just a person just sitting there, yes, 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 no. You know what I'm saying? Like, she wants to be in on whatever decisions being made, and she would like to have her input. The thing about it is, now getting with the woman, if she trusts her man's judgment, she won't have much input because she understands, she knows exactly what he does. She knows she can trust his judgment. She knows that he's going to handle his business. So anything he comes to her with, because he's going to come to her with stuff anyway. He's not just going to just make decisions by himself and just say and just flatline it like that and don't even talk to his woman at all. He's going to come to his woman with it. If she trusts his judgment and she knows that he handles his business, more than likely she's not going to have much to say. She's not going to have anything to add. You know what I'm saying? Her input would be to add something to it, or if it doesn't make sense, then she might need to say, hey, this doesn't make sense. How about we do it this way to try to kind of change it a little bit? But as long as it makes sense, the more likely the man gonna go with it. And be like, all right, yeah, that makes sense. All right, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? So as far as making decisions, it's together. It's saying that as far as like finalizing the decision, the man finalizes it. I don't really believe in that. I believe it can finalize it both together, because it's like, okay, look, he come to you with something, you either add or change it, or you know what I'm saying, and then like, all right, yeah, we can do that. So basically, y'all just finalize the decision together. So I'm kind of getting a little bit more into that. I'm kind of reading more into that. So I wouldn't say quote me too hard on that, but I'm reading more into that. All right, now as far as the woman's role, it's submissiveness, it's nurture. Okay, now we're gonna get into the obey thing. Like, how it has in the vows to obey. It's not it's not talking about like literally, do exactly what the man tell you to do. No, because a lot of women like to take that, out of context. No, that's not what it's talking about. It's mainly talking about respect. You know what I'm saying? If you respect your man, well enough, you will listen to him. It's about listening, understanding, just listen to him. If he's actually saying something to you, listen to him and truly listen to him to understand. Don't listen to him to try to, clap back or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's about listening. Just listen to him. Listen to what he got to say, because you want him to listen to you. You got to listen to him too. So it's not, because the thing about it, leadership is not about control. Leadership is an influence. So when I say that, it's like, all right, the stuff that I do, let's say I'm a man, I handle my business, I do what I do. I make good decisions and I carry out plans. The thing about it is, so that right there is influencing my woman, is a great influence on my woman, because my woman can trust me. She can trust that I know what I'm talking about. And if I'm saying, hey, babe, look, I want, say I want to put this in context. Hey, I want to do this. I want to do this, and I need you to do this and this. she knows that, okay, all right, cool, because I know he's gonna do it. I know he's gonna handle his business. I know he knows what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? So my leadership in leading her is an influence on her to basically follow. You know what I'm saying? It's an influence. Now, if you want to talk about somebody that's talking about that's controlling, basically trying to tell you what to do and want you to do whatever they tell you to do, that's a dictatorship. That's not a leader. That's a dictator. Dictators get people to do what they want them to do by using control. You know what I'm saying? Leaders, they don't force nobody to follow them. People flock to them and follow them because of influence, because they know, you know what I'm saying? Like it is. God not forcing nobody to follow him. But the fact that we trust in God, because we know God, you know what I'm saying, is a good God. He does his thing. We follow him because of his influence. It's not because of force. So God is not a dictator. He doesn't use force to make people follow him. He is his influence. So that's what I'm saying. That's what a leader. That's what a true leader is. A true leader is influence, not a dictator, not a dictatorship. So so like I said, that's the roles. As far as like a woman, you know, saying is a natural nurturer and submission, and he's submissive. You know, like a lot of women don't like to hear that word submission, but it's basically trusting your man, trusting your man's leadership. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you trust his leadership and you know you know exactly that he takes care of his business, you're gonna submit to him. You're gonna step back and let him do his job. You're not gonna you know, lash after him. You're not gonna try to change him up. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna give any backlash. You know what I'm saying? Like whenever whenever you come up with something like, oh, that's stupid. Like, I want to do it this way. I want to do it that way. Like, you're not going to challenge him. Basically, that's the word I'm looking for. You're not going to challenge him every time because you know that he can take care of the business. So that's the whole thing about submission. And of course, you know, a man is submissive to his woman too, but in a different way. So as far as the 5 keys I came up with, is number 1 is respect. Because without respect, that's the whole basis of a relationship and a marriage is respect. Without respect, you know what I'm saying, everything is gonna kind of fall. And that's respect both, you know what I'm saying, both ways. You know, a man respecting a woman respecting a man. The next one is compromise. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to compromise because it's a team effort, right? A relationship and a marriage is a team. And a team can't work together as a team if they're not gonna, you know, put their everybody's different, but compromising is putting those two differences together to make it work. The next one is sacrifice. I mean, when you in a marriage, you gotta sacrifice. It ain't no ifs, ands, buts about that. You know what I'm saying? Some things that you're used to doing, that you like doing, if it's not healthy for the relationship or for the marriage, you're gonna have to give it up for the betterment of the relationship and the marriage. That's what it's called, sacrifice, and y'all both got to do it. The fourth one, of course, is communication. You gotta be able to communicate. You don't communicate, everything's just gonna be pretty much wrong. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff gonna go downhill because y'all not communicating properly. And then the final one is maturity. You ain't mature, you ain't gonna better communicate. You ain't mature, you ain't gonna better sacrifice. You ain't mature. Like I said, is all those keys kind of go hand in hand, with respect being the full base. But you have to be mature. You know what I'm saying? You have to. Because if you're immature, that's where all the toxicity and the drama happens, because you're immature. It's childish. Being toxic in nature is childish, plain and simple. And petty, that's all childish stuff. That's childish nature. You're acting like a child. You're not acting like an adult. Excuse me. That's a cool book. I'm gonna check that out, Thomas. But
so, wait, let me read that comment really quick. Thomas says,
go ahead.
Everyone who is married or looking to marry should read the book Love and Respect by Dr. Emerson. I ain't gonna read that last word. It's bless. It'll bless you tremendously. Has any one of y'all read it? No.
No, I never read it.
No.
Okay, BFF. So Crystal, because I was looking at your eyes, girl. I was looking at your eyes. Do you have any comment on what Thomas has said? And then after you comment, then Corey's gonna comment. And then I'll ask my last question. Sorry, Arthur Nikki, I know you watching. And I'll ask my last question after that.
Um, no, I don't have any comments. When he started saying Rose, I was thinking something totally different. So I thought he was gonna go like the way of, oh, I'm the man, I'll take out the trash, you wash it. You know, that's what I was thinking. So it was totally um opposite of what I was thinking. So he was talking biblically, submitting, stuff like that. Um, so I think I agree, mostly with what he was saying. I don't oppose anything. That's just the way I look. I'm sorry. But no, I didn't find anything wrong with it. I saw a comment. I think it was Alicia. Hey, my sister Alicia in the comments. I think she said submission goes both ways. We submit one to another. While I will respect that when I am married again, that my husband is the head, he would be the head. So how I would handle things if there was differences, I'm gonna take it to the Lord in prayer and let God whip them. So if there's anything I disagree with, and I know for a fact I'm right, but submission does go both ways. We have to learn to communicate with each other, not a screaming match. I did like the part where he said that sometimes we listen to respond. Whoever said it earlier, it might have been Pastor Ford. Was that you, Thomas? But someone said that sometimes we don't listen to get an understanding. We listen to respond. I also feel that goes both ways, because women, we all know we are the brains of this thing. You guys, y'all
Look
guys.
at Corey, y'all. Look at
Yeah, he over there.
he can't wait to go.
After this. But we have the brains, so we have a little bit more wisdom sometimes than y'all. Y'all don't think things through. So sometimes we just trying to shed light. Like, hey, bro, if you do it this way, it'll be so much easier. But we just gotta let y'all do. And he said something about leadership and democracy. I do. I like that. Leaders lead by example. I can't follow you if you're going in the ditch, because I know I'm end up in the ditch behind you. So if you give me something to follow, then yeah, I'm gonna follow. But if you give me some mess, yeah, no, I'm not following that. But submission is great. We have to learn to submit, especially when you've been single 10, 20, 15 years, 8 years, 7 years. You're used to doing things on your own. You go in a little, you go in a little headstrong. And, if God give you the man that is worthy of submitting to, yeah, baby, here, I submit to you. Here, I submit these bills to you.
Take this loan.
I submit everything. I give it up. Like, I submit. No problem here at all. But I want somebody that knows how to lead where I can relax to submit. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that's key.
But yeah, I agree with you. No opposing.
My bad. Oh, my bad on interrupting. But yeah, my co-host is still commenting. He he said he's lost, and he says I think we're confusing preferable preferences with roles. And he asked about what I was talking about. He said, what does respect and all this have to do with roles? Like, I was talking about, when I said respect, I was talking about my 5 keys, bro. Was you even listening? And he felt like I confused you, Crystal. Well, when Shira was asking about, the roles thing, whatever, you was like, no, I told him I wasn't confusing you. It was though you thought I was talking about household roles instead of like man and woman roles. I was talking about man and woman roles, not household roles.
Yeah.
And then he said true submission. He said true submission is following regardless, which I agree. You know what I'm saying? I agree. I do agree. I wouldn't say to even
Not
to a certain
not
extent.
regardless. No,
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 I'm
no.
not following
No,
regardless.
I'm not.
No,
Because if
No,
I
no,
see
no,
you
no.
going the wrong
I
way
agree.
and it's gonna cause something,
It's
nah.
following, yeah, but yeah, like you said, Crystal, following, give you something to follow, and the same thing like I was basically saying, like leadership. Like if he's gonna be, if he knows what he's doing and he's doing what the hell he's doing, and you trust that he knows what he's doing, then you're gonna follow. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna just follow somebody to a ditch, like to like you said, you're not gonna follow somebody to a ditch. Like if he just leading you the wrong way, and you know he leading you the wrong way, but you just gonna follow anyway, like a dummy. I mean, that's on you, but. That's the reason why the women are our backbones. So we are doing something wrong, and she knows it. That's what she brings it to us and let them like, hey, look, basically set us back on like, look, hey, you're not. There's something's off. You know what I'm saying? Something's a little off. You're not doing, you know, this and this and this. It doesn't make sense what you're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? And kind of refer, just get us back on track. Y'all, that's the reason why the women's our backbone. They keep us on the narrow. Keep on the up and up if we are falling behind. You know what I'm saying?
But are you
And
going to
timing.
listen?
Oh.
Is the question? Are you going to
That's a good
listen?
question. I'm going to
But they
listen. I don't
will
know about a lot of
listen
other
if we
men, but
go in the
yeah,
right way.
It's
If
not
we
what you
come
say, it's
humble.
how you say it. Yeah.
Right. You can't go
yeah,
fight fire with fire. So there's
right.
a way to present something to your spouse. You don't go in there, I told you that. No, because that's going to cause a whole uproar. Nobody's going to listen at you. You got to know how to go in and be like, hey, you got to, rub his head a little bit. You got to sweet talk him. Be
Not
like,
his
listen,
head,
I
Chris.
think we're going
Right
to
here,
work.
the back.
Whatever works for
The
him.
back right
I'm
there.
just
Right.
saying. You got to go humble. You got to go sweet. You can't go cocky, miss know it all, and think you know you know you attract more bees with honey than vinegar type thing. You got to go in the right spirit. You got to go in the right attitude, and they will listen. But we got to give them something to work with too. We can't be hellish and attitude-ish all the time. Because let's call a spade a spade. Women, we do that sometimes. We have to learn how to talk to each other and not at each
Yeah.
other.
True. Come on here, Pastor, because I'm waiting on you. Come on. Y'all get your comments ready because after Corey, we gonna take some questions if y'all got them. Because baby, he going.
He said a lot. I'm just going to
Oh
comment on the
man.
things that I'm against. I am against this uh fist iron, do what I say, regardless
Yeah,
I'm the head. I don't agree with that. The church has
yeah. I don't
really
agree with
did
that.
a bad justice for people in marriages, relationships. The scripture says that God created Adam and Eve. I was about to say Adam and Steve. Lord have mercy. He created Adam and Eve, right? And he said, I basically am paraphrasing. He said, I created Eve as his help meet. And I think that we miss this whole thing because Adam didn't tell Eve what to do.
Mhm.
Because if he did, then Eve wouldn't have no
The
business
apple. Mm-hmm.
talking with the serpent.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we get these scriptures in Ephesians and Philippians where it talks about submission. It is submission in both ways. And I think that we fail to realize because the man feels like, well, I'm the head, I pay the bills, I do everything up in here. You need to listen to what I say. That is wrong. Because I always say, you always hear me say this, that woman is just as worth more just as you because you're a helpmate. The Bible says the two become what? One.
One.
It didn't say one is bigger than the other. It said the two become one. You're stuck. You're together. So for me, you don't have to agree, but for me, if I'm married to you, there's nothing I'm doing without your opinion. I always say this, your opinion, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, it matters. And a lot of people teach that, you got to do what the man says. Okay, so then what is the woman there for? If you were to do everything that man says, and you are to listen to him, if he say go right, go left, you are to do whatever he says, and that's it. Then what do you need a woman for? Because then we get to the part of leading, right? And I hear a lot of women say this: I want my man to lead me. I want my man to lead me. I was in a relationship with a young lady after my divorce, and she said to me, "You can't lead me." And it irritated me because I'm like, why do you want me to lead you? I'm not your husband. And that's the problem. We're looking for people to prematurely lead us into places that we should not be in. And that's why we got to be careful of getting into relationships and getting into things that we think, okay, this is my husband, this is my wife, and I'm gonna follow them. What are you following them to the bedroom? What are you following them to go get a drink? And we need to really seek God, like literally seek. And I know it's this cliche, but we really need to seek God and ask Him, what do you have set for me? Because I always say a lot of times we move with emotions and feelings because the sex is good, because the conversation is good, because the feeling is good, because the emotion is good. And we move on it and don't know that as soon as we marry them, now is the whole everything changes. Sex is horrible. Communication is horrible. They don't take you out. Their breath stink worse than what it was when you was dating them. Okay, maybe it's just me, but it comes to the place where you really need to dig into that person to really understand. Okay, what do you really want? And I always ask, while I'm dating, like, what are you ready for mentally? Not what you ready for physically. What are you ready for mentally? Because a lot of people ain't ready. They ready, but they not ready. Your credit jacked up. You ain't got no money. You ain't got nowhere to
Yeah.
live. You asking me money for lunch, and for me, if you can't handle the necessities for yourself, then why would you put yourself in a relationship that you can't even handle the little things? See, the social media messes a lot of people up. Like, oh, you got to buy that girl lunch. You gotta go get that girl her nails done, her hair done. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's a time, as Ecclesiastes tells us, there's a time and a place for everything. And I think that we miss the purpose of dating is getting to know the person. We have, and I said this last time on the podcast, we have to stop leading with our money, because now we're leading with our money. That's all she gonna know. Well, yeah, girl, he get my nails done. Oh, you get my hair done. And what I find myself is, when you have to ask me or tell me I need this, that's not for me. Because I want to be free and I want to be able to do it on my own and say, you know what, babes, here go lunches on me today, or go get your nails done because I see your nails and need to go get done. Whatever the case may be, right? But it comes to the place where we have been putting things in place that these are my standards when they're not your standards, that you can't even do for yourself. You're telling a man to do X, Y, and Z to lead you to do. Where are you leading yourself? Where are you leading yourself? What do you have going on for yourself? Because what I tell people is, look for somebody that can add to you, not take. We got too many women and men, because I see the men now, they worse than the women I hear. How you getting in somebody's life taken? And you still on the couch, you in the basement, you on somebody's floor in the pallet, you in your car, and somebody says, what's wrong with you living in? No, because if you can't afford to live in the place, why would I want to be with somebody that live in the car? You got to get your priorities straight. You got to pay your light bill. You got to pay your rent. These things are important, and we got to start talking about financial. We got to start talking about where you at mentally, because there's some folks that are out here that are bold-faced crazy, bipolar, schizophrenic. They got some issues that we don't talk about. The sex is great, but like I said Sunday when I preached, after the sex, what's next? What are we doing? Sex is everywhere. It sells. It's on TV, cartoons, everywhere. After sex, where are you leading me to? We going back to your bedroom same time next week? We going to the same restaurant? And we keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over. So when it comes to marriage and when it comes to relationships, we have to learn how to start putting things in order. No, I don't want to run you. No, I don't want to lead you right now. Because first of all, where are we going? Are you my wife? Are you a situationship? Are you a girlfriend for 6 months? Are you a boyfriend for 6 months? What are we doing? And now we got to ask what the heck you identify as, because we don't know if you identify as a man, as a woman. We got to start putting things in the right perspective. And no disrespect to nobody, you are what you are, but it's time to put things in this right perspective. Talk about STDs. Have you ever had one? Do you have one right now? We really have to really get into detail to understand who are you and how did you get to the place that you are in now? And how can I add to your life to make your life better? Because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be going up and up and up and up. I'm not going up and you bringing me down. Every time I turn around, you need money for your rent. What was you doing before I got here? And this goes on both sides of the spectrum. This ain't hitting the woman. This ain't hitting the man. This goes on both sides of the spectrum. Because what I find out is that a lot of this generation and our generation, you got women giving men money, and you got men giving women money. Where did we get that from? Your money is your money until you tie the knot and you come together. Now I'm putting what we have together. Unless you do some okey doke and start moving in with each other, that's your business. I ain't here to tell you what to do. This ain't my podcast. Do what you do, but make it work. And what? Be honest with each other. Because you about to get evicted. You don't got nowhere to live. Be honest. Because I seen the other day on Instagram how the guy was talking about he just needed somewhere to lay his head. And all the women was up there talking about, you fine, you can come stay with me. Wait a minute, what are we doing? So when it comes to making a choice, or when it comes to making the right decisions, I don't want to hear about leadership. I don't want to hear about what you can do. Tell me what you could do for yourself. That's a good one. What have you done for yourself for the last 6 months? For the last 7 months of the year? I came in your life. Now you met Corey. I love myself. I have my own place. I have my own money. I work. I got everything together. I take care of my kids. Now, what are you doing for yourself? And that goes on both sides of the spectrum. This ain't pointing out to no woman, to no man. It goes on both sides of the spectrum. Because everybody wants to point fingers and say what a man should do. Well, what are you doing for yourself? That's where I'm at. I can lead you. I can lead you to the water and baptize you and bring you back out and you be all right. But after that, what's next? You know what I'm saying? So it comes to the place where what are you doing for yourself and what can we add to each other? I'm not talking about giving you money for lunch because you should meal prep. I'm not talking about uh, helping you with gas because you should already, for me, and I used to tell my ex-wife this all the time. For me, being on E is when the take is in the middle. I don't know what you call that, but
Yes.
it's in the middle.
Yes.
That's
Half
being on
full.
E for me.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I used to get on her so much because I don't like that. And when I get in a relationship or when I get into whatever I'm in, I always tell them, listen, is your car full? It's on half. That's eating me. Because in your mind, why are we driving around with your car on E? Why we gotta stop making these stupid, silly mistakes. You don't got no food. You didn't meal prep. You didn't get your bills together. We really have to start talking about those things. Because do you realize that when you get married to that person and when you get married to that individual, you just got me all hot and bothered right now. Lord have mercy. When you really get with that person, all their stuff becomes your stuff. And I'm only talking from experience. I ain't gonna throw my ex-wife out there, but I'm talking from experience because you could be with somebody and they could paint the picture that everything looks good, but when you get behind closed doors, now everything is in the open. Now what you gonna do? You just can't get up and leave because you done signed the dotted line. Once you sign your name to that paper and say that we are married, what's next? Because now what we should do, while we talking about dating, if I'm preparing to be your husband, we need to prepare for a marriage, not the wedding, for a marriage, for a long-lasting marriage. I always want to give a different perspective on things that we date, but I don't care about dating. I want to know, what are you looking for? Because if you're looking to date, then you can date me, you can date Sean, you can date Deshaun, you can date Dequan. Are you focused on me? Then the girl said, focus on me. The songwriter said, are you focused on me? Or who you gonna be focused on? So you really have to put things into perspective. Because I used to be the person, and Renee knows, I used to be the person, date them all. But no, baby, you gonna be focused on me or Deshaun. Because now, if you're gonna be focused on me and Deshaun, I'm gonna tell you to choose Deshaun because obviously I'm not in your reach, I'm not in your eye view, I'm not in your caliber for you to let go of somebody for me. Because now you still have issues or attachment issues because you're afraid of if Deshaun hurt you. Now I got Corey as a backup. You done got me somewhere I ain't want to be. I don't know why.
Wait, okay, wait a minute. Like, time out, time
Nah,
out,
he
time
You
out.
doesn't.
got me
He
somewhere I
said a
don't
lot
want to
on that
be.
one. He said a lot.
Pew, 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 pew. Okay, so let me tell you something. My comments are blowing up because Corey, you got these people on.
You got me in a place I didn't even know where I was listening. It's just coming
So
out. I don't got no notes or nothing.
so
Just coming
okay.
out.
I'm gonna ask y'all comfort level because now we have shifted gears, and now we done talked about divorce. We done did that. Thank y'all. But now people want to actually come up and chime in and talk about relationships and all the things. So if y'all are okay with it, I'm going to do what I've never done. And
Hell
this
no.
is
I'm just
like,
playing.
Renee, you
and
got
this
me.
is
You got me like I wasn't trying to go there. I don't know why. It just dropped. So I just give you whatever drops to me. I give it to y'all. That's it. I don't. I don't got no
so
script.
what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do this for all of y'all who's keep asking me, send me the link, send me the link, send me the link.
Here
I'm gonna
we
send
go.
y'all the link,
Here we go.
and I'm gonna bring people up one at a time, probably two at a time. Yes, there you go.
And
And
you
whoever
and you
wants to
know,
come in,
Renee, my perspective has changed, and it
I
has really.
know.
It's just sitting here. It literally has just dropping Jews on me. So I got to give you whatever's in my heart, whatever's in my spirit, because we have been doing this thing wrong for a long time.
We have.
For a
Yep.
long time. And
Totally
then now
agree.
we want to point the finger. Oh, it's your fault. It's my fault. Because I didn't take the time out to evaluate the situation. If I took the time out to evaluate the situation, then I wouldn't be in the situation that I'm in. We talk about
Yeah,
situationships. A lot of us are in situationships and don't even realize it.
that
Forget the
part.
steps. Now we
Yeah.
now we every time we get paid, we giving them half our check. Y'all don't really hear me today.
We know how you
Hey,
feel
it's a
about
lot to.
money. We know how you feel about money
Oh yeah,
and
listen.
the nails and all that. We already know
Listen.
on the lunch date,
Listen.
$30. We
Listen.
know. We know.
Hey,
Listen.
hey, hey, Corey, man. Hey, I'm with you on that one, man. Like it's so much that I would like to say
Wait,
too, but I'm
hold
just
on, y'all.
it's just
Wait a minute. Wait.
hey, I got you, man. I'm with you on that one, man. Everything you were
Oh
saying, bro, I'm
Lord.
totally with you on that one.
Okay,
I was just
so
sitting back like,
Crystal, I'm gonna ask you: are you staying on, or are you gonna pop in the comments? Because this is about to go to a whole nother thing. And I like to be considerate of people's time. So if you
I'm
gotta
here
go,
for it.
you here for? Oh, okay, let's go, y'all. All right, so
Oh,
coming
they
to the
said don't put
stage.
me in. Don't put me in yet. Who is
Yeah, I
this
saw a
person?
comment.
Do
Who
I
said
know
that?
them?
Wait.
Somebody just said that in a comment on
Yeah, I
here.
saw it.
oh
I think his
Tay,
name
Let
is
me.
Thomas. Let me
Oh,
see.
wait. Hold on. All right. Okay. So we're
Do
gonna
we
bring
know this
my
person?
my
Who is this?
podcast nephew up here,
Okay.
Decree of Dominion. What is your take, nephew?
Yeah, first of all, my man was going off. My man was going off. How y'all doing? The Create Dominion podcast, Dark Law here.
Okay.
I agree with everything he said. Um, I think a lot of both men and women, but specifically from the female side of things, uh, as a man, we shouldn't be paying for things that are supposed to be self necessity, right? Like your gas money. I actually have an experience when I was about 19 years old. I was one of my coworkers' daughter was my age, and she hooked us up, and we went to the local food chain. And afterwards, she was like, "You might give me $20 because of my gas tank's on E, and I can't get home." And that just goes right to what he spoke of is, why are you actively dating and actively searching for a partner, but you don't even have your affairs in order to even drive yourself to and from a 10 minutes down the road to a restaurant. And so, and on another thing too, I did do a comment. I call it the Cash App crew. Everybody a lot of women, especially, I'm 27, especially in my age range, they expect the man to pay essentially for nothing. Like we're paying to. I even know people that post and women that post that, hey, you gotta cash at me to even be in my DMs. And to me, that's just ludicrous because, first of all, who are you, and are you even worthy to even be associated with me in the first
Look at
place?
Corey, y'all. Look
But
at
watch
Corey.
this. Watch
Look at
this.
Corey.
What pisses me off about this generation, it got to be our granddaddies or somebody, because who was giving these women money? Now, I'm not trying to be nasty, but let's be real. We're all men on here and women on here, right? Why are you paying for sex? Why are you paying to see somebody's stuff when you can get that for free? Why? What is you doing? Like, I seen somebody say, "Well, you want to be in my private story? It's $23." I heard seen somebody say, "You want to how they call that, like the FaceTime thing with them and do all that extra curriculum." Y'all know what I'm saying? It's
Close friends.
right. You want to do that extra curriculum? Pay me $100 for 5 minutes. Are you crazy? Like, what? And I said this yesterday to somebody. When there's a high demand for something and everybody's doing it because somebody's paying attention and putting themselves in this so that this stuff can continue. Enough is enough. I preach this on that. This stuff has to stop. Like, nobody's saying that we won't help you. Nobody's saying that we can't help you. But where is your mentality to where you can say, you know what, I'm a boss? You're not a boss if you got to ask me for gas money. You're not a boss if you gotta ask me for lunch money. You ain't no boss. You just, you're terrible. That's what she is. You just, my mom always used to say, the old folks used to say, well, make sure he can buy you a burger, but can you buy your own burger? Because you want to go to Ruth
Yes.
Chris. You want to go to Ruth
Yes.
Chris on the first date.
Yes.
Can you buy your own burger? Can you even cook a burger? Can I see what
Yes.
your house look like? Can I see that
Yes.
you ain't got no roaches or rats or mice or don't got trash everywhere?
Or bed
Like,
bugs?
thank you. Yeah, we want to go to your house talking about, oh, you shouldn't go. No, I do want to go to your house because that's going to be the totality. If I'm going to date you, first of all, I'm a strickler, and Renee, first of all, I get down to the time of the tissue you use, the type of paper
Soap.
towel you use, the type of soap you use, the type of dish soap you use. Why? Because that's important to me. I don't want to be, as the Bible says, as they say, unequally yoked. I don't want to be in a relationship where we both have to use two different tissues. That's very important to me. We're not about to have two tissue things in the bathroom. We're
You
not
say you
doing
got
that.
quilted northern. He got to have
Right.
quilted northern, y'all.
And I and I
I ain't
got and I
even
got Scott.
Charmin strong,
Right. Like,
ultra
how
strong.
this gonna work? It ain't gonna
Yeah.
work.
And the Don Platinum. Don't you get no Ajax in here.
Wait
Don't
a
you
minute.
get no Ajax in here.
Wait a
Listen,
You always say
listen, my
Pastor
Hey,
brother, my
Green.
brother. Listen, we don't play over here, okay? We don't
hey,
play
didn't
over
I
here,
say
okay?
didn't I say we
Okay,
got a
see, I told you
compromise?
he got the platinum with the scrubbing buddies. Don't you use no Dollar Tree,
I'm
nothing.
done. No, y'all. No, y'all.
I ain't even mad at him. You tell him,
Listen,
King. You tell him.
He
Forget
brought
the
out the
cash out
props.
crew.
I'm done.
yeah,
Oh
we
my
don't
god.
play that over here.
Oh
We
man.
got it, and I know this sounds corny to some people, but you really gotta get strategic. Like, what you wash with. What you wash your clothes, what do you wash your clothes with? I need to smell you. Smell is very important to me. I like cologne, I like perfume, I like things that smell good because I like to do certain things. You know what
Crystal,
I'm
turn
saying?
your
So
camera
at the
back
end of the
on.
day, I need to know these things because it's very important. When your girlfriend come monthly and there for 7 days, 3 days, and I need to know how you take care of yourself because I met some wonderful women in my life who do not smell when their girlfriend come. I call that thing your girlfriend for that seven
I was
days
about
or
to
three
say
days
you
to
was.
five
I was
days.
going to say your
Yeah, I call
girlfriend.
it the girlfriend that's nosy and
I
that's want to
got
be
you.
there and want to be up in
Okay.
everything and don't want to leave. You know what I'm saying? So I want to know. Like, I can show you. Let me see. Let me come to your house unexpectedly to see how you live because people are out here, and this goes for the men too, because I hear stories. People out here living foul, and you know what I heard too?
Literally.
That the men got these apartments in the women's name and somebody else's name, and don't even got it in their name. Y'all better start asking for, what did I say the couple of months ago? Start asking for IDs, start asking for birth certificates, start asking for social security numbers so I can know that you are a citizen of the United States of America. Because you got to be careful on the online dating. Everybody pushing marriage. No, do you need a green card? Because if you do, I can't help you. Because at the end of the day, you're not here for love. You're here for help, and you're here to get what you're gonna get, and you're gonna bounce. No
They
offense,
got
but it's the truth is the truth. It is what it is. So
that's
at the end
that.
of the day, you got even pastors, you got women pastors out here lying about their name, lying about being. Let me tell y'all something. I'm so serious. Whew. You better start really researching people. Because in the state of New Jersey, it's private. Being married is private. But in the state of Maryland, you could look that up and find out if a person is married. But in the state of New Jersey, you probably have to call vital statistics. You better find out. I have a best friend who was married to a bishop, to a pastor. He was married to 4 women at the same time, being married to her. Why? Because he got married in different states. And it ain't like, it's not like jail, or you know how things connect. It doesn't do that in every state. So you got to really start really looking at people. And I got to eyeball you, see what the hell do you, and I'm sorry, what do you really want? Because these people out here playing game. Play with your kids. You want to play with somebody's heart, play with your kids, play with your
Not
mama.
the
You
kids.
like you sitting up here playing with somebody's heart, that they can be this minute away of
Oh,
going off,
okay.
killing, going crazy, and you out here playing with somebody. You better be careful. I'm telling you. I'm done. I'm putting myself on mute.
All
I'll
right,
talk to you.
hold on. Come on here, Tay. What you got?
Well. Okay. I mean, Corey, he said what he had to say. But he's absolutely right. You got to be careful with who you marry and who you talk to, because I done talked to a couple of women that they they say they are one thing, but they're really not. They're definitely not. And like, something that resonated with me is the whole Cash App Warriors. Like,
Y'all gonna get off these girls' cash apps. You hear me?
listen. I've been a victim of it. I ain't gonna lie, I've been a victim of it. Like, sending the girl, oh, can you send me $60 because I need to put gas in my car for the week because I work 2 hours
$60?
away from my house. I'm like, all right. Because for me, it's like, all right, you got to get to work. Cool. But it starts to become repetitive, like real repetitive. So I'm like, yeah, you just got to be careful. That's pretty much what I got to say.
I'm waiting. All right, come on, James. Let's go. Cause James want to get on here too. I'm waiting for him to put his camera on. Crystal, you got anything to say?
Man.
Thomas, you got anything to say?
Hey, hey, look, man, y'all. Well, I can say Pastor said a mouthful and all that stuff. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest. I was a little confused on some of the stuff because he was going off into something that was just totally off line. I'm like, wait, what? I don't. Me personally, I don't really. I'm not really that hardcore with what they're using or stuff like that. But I do agree that I do need to come to your house to see how you live. I do agree that. I definitely agree with that. But as far as like what you use, what type of tissue you use, that doesn't matter to me. Like I don't care about all that.
Oh, so you going to be the one in there with two? Which so when I come to your house, I'm like, oh, okay, I see what type of woman he got. He don't use the same tissue. I get it. I mean, hey, teach his
I mean,
own.
we gonna use the same tissue. Whether whoever buys everybody gonna use
I
it.
mean,
It's
Whatever
your
whatever the
preference.
tissue's bought,
so
yeah,
basically,
whatever tissue is
if you
being
use
bought.
Scott and she use Charmin, you gonna go with what she use?
If she buy
If
it,
I Yeah, well, if I run out of my sky, I'm gonna use a Charmin. Tissue is tissue to me. I don't
Mm-mm.
tissue is tissue to me.
Y'all
Like
can have it. Y'all can have it. I'm sorry. We gonna have order over here.
he said order, not
We gonna have
order.
order over here. Yes, sir. I'm trying to tell you.
Where is I can't. But he's so serious, y'all. Like even with the
I
soap,
know.
you gotta use it.
I
You
can
have to have
tell.
certain soap.
I can tell you serious.
He's a
I can
stickler
definitely tell.
about that. Like he's a stickler. Order around here. That's what he said.
And because I never forget. And I'm learning different stuff. Like I buy different stuff to see like what I like, and I like things a certain way. Like I could turn my camera around and show you my house. Like my house is a certain way. It's clean. It's not messy. I just don't like things a certain way because the way I was raised. We was not raised in the hood. Nothing against the hood. I live in the hood now, but the way we was raised, the way that my mother taught us certain things that we have these gender roles where they say a woman has to clean. No, if she can clean, I can clean too. If she can do laundry, I can do laundry too. If she can cook, I can cook too. I might cook better than her. Whatever the case may be. But it comes to the place where we gonna work together and understand each other. Not you don't have to do the same things I do, but down to the little nitty gritty things need to be set in order so we don't have no confusion because we're not using Palmer over here. We're not using what is that, Polive or whatever that
Palm
cheap
Palm
olive.
soap.
olive.
Yeah, palm
Palm.
olive, whatever it's called.
You
Yeah, we're
not
not.
cheap. You didn't say that was cheap,
That's cheap. I
Corey.
don't care what you say. I mean, to each his own. Do what you do. It's Don all day, every day. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yep. I
Oh,
mean, man,
especially the
I
Ajax. They
use
got
the
the
Kroger brand.
Ajax. I'm like Jesus.
I use generic brands. I don't care. They
Well,
all
you
make
ain't
No,
coming
I
to my
can't.
house because I
I
use
can't.
Ajax, so you
I
ain't coming
can't
over
do
here.
that. I can't do that.
We
Mm-mm.
shop at Walmart, so we
No,
not. We
see,
not.
listen,
No,
listen. I
you're not
can't.
coming
I
over here.
can't. Judge me. Don't judge me. Judge your mom for
Hey, but
that.
all those generic brands, like those brand names come from the generic brands. They just you're paying for the name. They're all the same.
That's all right. I love the name.
They're
It's
all the
something in
same.
the name. It's something
You're
in the
just
Here
paying
name.
for the
you go.
name.
Something about that name. I'm trying to tell you. And to each his own. I ain't here to judge nobody, but for me, I just like things a certain way. Like I use bleach. People don't use bleach to wash their dishes. It's just a lot of things for me. Like you'd be surprised. Just you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Some people don't wash their clothes in the laundry mat. They wash their clothes in the tub.
Hand wash them. Yeah.
Right. Y'all play. Yeah. Maybe y'all just haven't experienced that yet, but it's
I mean, I
crazy.
got a wash machine and dryer. I can just use it. I use
Crazy.
that to wash my clothes.
Yeah.
But it's all about going back to after all the shenanigans. It's all about knowing who you are and what you want. And
Mm-hmm.
that is what you want. So
Mm-hmm.
you cannot settle for anything less than
And
what
I
you want
do.
because personally you're going to be unhappy if you don't get anything, if you get something less than that. So
Mm-hmm.
kudos to you for knowing what you want
Mm-hmm.
specifically.
Yes. Yes.
Reverend
Hey,
James H. Glover the third. What is up?
What
What
is
is
up? What is
up?
up?
What
What
is
is up?
up?
What is up? How are you all doing?
We
Oh,
good.
we good.
I'm good, man.
I've been listening to this
All is well.
conversation. I've been listening to the conversation, and it's been good. It's really been good. And as we talked about submission, there's one thing that we forget. There's a couple of things that we forget when we talk about submission. Number one is that, yeah, we always want to talk about the woman submitting. But what we also got to remember is that the man has to submit to God in order for that woman to submit to him. And number two, a lot of times there are a lot of little boys out here running around telling women, we want you to submit, we want you to submit. But nevertheless, they ain't giving a woman a darn thing to submit to. They running around running their mouth, but they ain't giving a woman nothing to submit to. What are you bringing to the table to make that woman feel secure enough to submit to you? What are you bringing to the table besides your mouth to make that woman say, you know what, I want to submit to you. I'm willing to submit to you. A lot of us are running around with big plans and big ideas, but nevertheless, we want the woman to fund them. We're talking about, I'm this, I'm a bad, I'm not going to deal with a woman if she's not like this or if she's not like that. But nevertheless, we can't even afford our own house. So how can you expect a woman to submit to you when you're not bringing nothing to the table for you to submit to, for her to submit to? So what I'm saying is like sometimes what we forget is before we talk about Adam and Eve and we talk about God created Eve for Adam. We talk about that, but we miss a very key point. that God did to Adam before he gave her Eve. Before he gave her Eve, he created Eve, but before he did it, he gave Adam something very important. He gave Adam a job. He made sure that Adam had some work to do. So what I'm saying is, before you get this woman, and before you start running your mouth talking about, I want this woman to submit to me, I want this woman to do this, I want this woman to do that. Make sure you got something to the table and bringing something to the table besides some big ideas and some harebrained schemes for the woman to want to submit. That's my 2 cents on it.
Can I do this? I like this. I looked up the word submission, right? And I don't like the first definition, but I love the second definition. It says the action of presenting a proposal or application or another document for consideration or judgment. I like that definition because it doesn't leave what it says for the first one. The first one is like force and having authority over. I really don't like that term because you really you don't have authority over her. You both belong to each other. And I think that we miss that because it's not about the man telling you what to do, it's what are you doing for each other. And as you said earlier, and I agree 1,000,000%, we will never admit this as men, and I'm going to say it because it's the truth. The woman is 1,000,000% right all the time. We're not going to admit that as men because we want to feel macho. We want to feel the man. But the woman is right 1,000,000% of the time. We just are in our ego and we big headed that we don't want to listen. But 9 times out of 10, that woman is always right. And that's why we need to learn how to say, babes, as I said earlier, go to her before you even make a decision, before you even make a proposal or anything. First, pray to God, but go to your wife, go to your woman, babes. What do you think about this? I think we should change from Poland Spring to tap water. Just using some example, right? Go to her because that's your helpmeet. That's your person that's gonna see stuff before you see it. You know how you we watch the movies where the guys are drug dealer and the woman she's not into that street life, but you say, babe, you shouldn't go out here today because a woman is always gonna know. That's why the Bible says what that when we get married, we what or obtain favor with that woman. We don't have favor with ourselves because we would have had it. But he said, when we get with that woman, when we are married, he said, you obtain favor. You get something that you ain't never had before. You had it, but you got it. It's an unlimited thing that's never going to go. So it's always good to go to that woman, babes. What do you think about me getting new glasses? What do you just something simple, right? Because never leave her out. And that's the problem. The church teaches this erroneous teaching that you gotta follow. No, I want to know your opinion because what you feel, your thoughts, your emotions, what you have to say, it matters. And I really want us to really understand that as men, don't forget her because what she feels, what she has to say, she's not just a sex box. She's just not a person just to go make your food. She's not a person just to go iron your clothes and wash your clothes. It's not just about that because you can do that for yourself. So I understand that how she feel, it matters. So never forget to go to her and say, babe, I'm submitting myself because that's what I'm supposed to do. That's what the Bible told me to do. So I want to know, what do you feel about this? I want to move to Georgia. I want to move our family to Georgia. How do you feel about this? That's it. Just simple.
Crystal, you got anything to add to it? I'm gonna keep asking you because I just be looking at your face.
I kind of feel like, some stuff is contradicting because um he's saying or you're saying, yeah, you gotta submit, you gotta be willing to be in, but we ain't been on the tissue and the palm olive and all that stuff. Like, so what really is it? Like, are
That's
you
before we
gonna
get married. That's
like
before we get
also
married. We're not married. We're not
yeah,
married.
but of
That's
course,
before we
but
get
all
married.
that
I
has to
could
be worked out
compromise.
before you get married. You
I
don't
could,
go into the marriage and then debate all this stuff. You
right.
have to
I
come
can
to an agreement.
compromise.
Listen, you had your time. Hold on
Go
for
ahead.
1 second.
Hmm.
But you have to agree before you do that. You can't
Absolutely.
go into the marriage and then talk about all this stuff. This stuff got to be ironed out before. Because if you can't get it together, then there's no need of us even showing up to
But
the
that's
church.
why I said that's why you got to go through all of this
But
stuff while
with
dating.
submission, not just she submitting. So okay, say she say, all right, cool, that's the dish soap you want to use. So this is it. You got to be in all the way around. That was my only thing. It just sounds, from my end, it sounds a little like, on one side, you're saying, oh, I'll submit, I'll too, we'll submit too, then on the other hand, it's like, oh, but I'm not using this, I'm not using that, I'm not using that. So you're gonna have to be by yourself, bro.
Unless she used the same things he used.
You gotta be in. Everybody has to be in. You're gonna end up by yourself all over again. Because at some point,
I'm by
nobody
myself
gets
now, so it's
everything
cool.
they want. Nobody's gonna get every single thing they want. We have to submit all the way around. That's all. I don't want it to seem, you know, it just sounded so one minute I'm saying I'm gonna submit and 1 minute I'm not. That's all I was just trying to clear up. Um
So what are some deal breakers for you? Like, I know, Tay, you're in a relationship, James, you're in a relationship. And for my divorcees, what are some deal breakers for you that you refuse, that you did probably tolerate in the previous relationships, but you will not tolerate moving forward? We can do Thomas, then Tay, then Crystal, then Reb, then Corey.
My main thing is disrespect. I will not tolerate disrespect at all because respect is a man's love language. Even though respect does go both ways, of course, but men take respect to a more higher level than women do. And I will not tolerate any disrespect. Um, do not um, use my vulnerabilities against me because just know I'm not gonna be telling you nothing else. I'm gonna completely shut down on you. That's mainly my thing. I just won't tolerate disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Like you disrespect me. It's pretty much a done deal at that point because like it was something that one of you guys said. Um, it's all about knowing. I think it was Crystal. It's all about knowing how to talk to people. We have to be able to talk to each
Mm-hmm.
other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A man needs to know how to talk to a woman. Woman needs to know how to talk to a man. And if we are coming off, yeah, it was Crystal. If we coming off disrespectful, you know what I'm saying? Like you coming to me disrespecting me, then it's like the conversation is going to be pretty much off the rest of the time because now I'm not going to want to listen to you because you got a disrespectful mouth. And the same thing with me. If I'm coming at you disrespectful, you're going to shut down on me too because I'm disrespecting you. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to want to listen to anything else I got to say because it's disrespectful. So my main thing is disrespect. I'm not going to take any disrespect. You know what I'm saying? I want the woman to respect me, you know, as a person just as much as a man. But of course, in return, I'm gonna give her something to respect. Because I'm not gonna just, oh, I'm a man, you need to respect me. No, okay, well, I need to give you something to respect. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not giving you anything to respect, how you gonna respect me? You know what I'm saying? So that's my whole thing. I take disrespect like very seriously. That's all.
Tay.
This might sound weird, but I've dealt with it on a number of occasions. So I'm gonna take the shades off for this one. A person that doesn't shower every day.
Excuse me?
A person that does not shower every day. Please,
Look at
for the
Corey.
please, like please shower every day. It could be twice a day. I don't care. Please
Wait
shower
a
every day.
minute.
So
Go
look,
ahead.
so me,
What kind of
me.
women you dating?
You need some Dr. Bongers.
like
Jesus.
I, I don't know if it was a religious thing or if it was just pure laziness. I'm just gonna go with pure laziness. But I've dated some people that did not shower every single day. They would do the I showered at night, so I don't have to shower in the morning.
gonna start up again. Don't. All right, we gonna move.
You okay, Sheree?
Because I know Corey and he's going to go off again. Oh my God. Like I was not okay. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna say something else, but please shower every
Hey,
day. Oh
there is
God.
somebody really did some research on the
Look at
showering
Corey.
thing.
Look at Corey. He got soap.
They did just it was some research done on the shower thing, but yeah, go ahead, continue. I don't want to continue interrupting you. Go
Oh
ahead.
my God.
No, go ahead. I'm done. But it's like shower every day. Like I want to say it the way that I say it, but I'm
Yeah,
gonna
don't
respect
say it
my
the way
friend's
you want to
podcast
say it. Yes, come on,
because
Crystal.
yeah,
You next.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh God.
I didn't deal with this before, but
Oh, man.
physical abuse is one thing. Physical or verbal, that's something I don't think I could tolerate. I'm still on the shower, so excuse me. Because it was like, yeah, shower. Poor hygiene is what he was trying to say.
Yes.
And promiscuous activity, going outside, the marriage.
Okay, so reel that in because there is a fine line between
Okay.
going outside the marriage relationship. People feel like certain things are tolerable than others. What exactly is he? Does he have incense? Lord Jesus. What exactly what does cheating consist of for you? Is it just strictly physical? Is it messages? Is
That's
it
a good question.
Woo! Yeah, that's a real good question.
we
Definitely
up here now?
physical.
We might as
I
well
feel like
talk about
all
it.
of it. I feel like all of it. Um, especially if it's something that he got to hide, he already knows something going on there. Messages. Whew, I found messages before. Ugh, they wasn't good. But I feel more so like the actual cheating,
The
like
action.
yeah. But the messages lead to the actual, so
Yeah.
But then who fault is it?
The person who doing the messages.
But how did he get her attention in the first place?
Because he didn't communicate that there was
How
an
did he
issue for
get
him
this
to
other
go out.
woman's attention for him to be able to cheat? You got to see it from both sides of the spectrum. We always love to blame the person,
Okay, I can see where you're going
especially
with that.
especially when I wish I could say this, but we're gonna end up getting in a fight if I say this.
say
Let
it.
me just say it this way:
Crystal ready.
somebody that's on the ballot. That's what I'm gonna say. Take it home, do what you want with it. Somebody that's on the ballot was a homewrecker.
What?
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Voting.
So
Somebody
you
that's on the
saying the
ballot.
third person? Are you the third person?
Somebody was on the ballot. Somebody that's on the ballot for us to vote this year was a homewrecker. So, in order for a person to cheat, if I was married to Renee and I wanted to cheat with you, Crystal, right? You, Crystal, has to give me the
Access.
access for me to cheat, and
But
we
what if
have to.
Crystal don't know about me?
No, first of all, I can't give you access. You control your own self. You should have self-control and temperance, especially being a man of God. To where
But
no,
I'm
I'm
not a man
married.
of God.
I'm not going
I'm
to
not a man
cheat.
of God. I'm a regular person. I'm just out here
Well,
in these streets,
regular person,
married.
whoever, we know better. When you know better, you do it better. You're held accountable for your own self. So, say for example, we get to heaven. When we get to heaven, God ain't gonna ask me, "Oh, why did he let that girl in?" You're gonna give account for that. It's what you do.
I
So the
agree,
third
but
person is not even the problem. whoever cheated, male or female, that's the problem. Because when you took vows before God. You stood before God. So if you're cheating, you're held accountable. Don't try to spin it off on nobody else.
No,
The
no, no.
third person, the
I'm
fourth
not taking the
person, who's
accountability away.
responsible?
What I'm
But listen,
saying
you asked me
is,
a question. You said who's responsible? Who's
who's responsible
responsible
for the
is the
cheating?
person that did
Besides
it.
me taking responsibility, that woman has to give me access to allow me to cheat.
You give yourself access when you take your thing
By
out in the
hitting her
open.
up.
Like, it
Right.
don't make sense.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It's okay.
Yeah,
I
we
Go
don't
think
ahead,
spin it off
James.
on
All
nobody
right.
else.
I
We're going to
think
Whoever
go
cheated,
ahead,
sometimes
James.
who's responsible?
what happens is instead of taking the blame for our faults in the situation, it's easier for us to try to see why, to give a
Hmm.
reason why we did it. The reason why I did it is because you didn't do this. The reason why I did it is you didn't do that. The reason why I
Hmm.
did it is because this person over here was available. Okay, but how would you know that this person was available if he wasn't over there looking at that person over there? A lot of times, what we have to do is take self accountability.
Yes.
The only way that we are going to get back to the point that relationships are going to be better, that we are going to stop having the divorce rates that we have. Because if we want to be honest with it, in this day and time, if you look at the African American community, a lot of it, when you look at the divorce rates, a lot of it is on our behalf in the African American community because we are not training ourselves on what it takes to really be married. We love the ceremony. We love the
Hmm.
ceremony. Oh yeah, we ready for that. We love the ceremony. We love the celebration. If you want to just have a ceremony or a celebration, just throw yourself a party. Don't sit here and confess your love for somebody, saying for better or worse, till sickness and in health, till death do us part, as long as we both shall live. And in those wedding vows, it also says, forsaking all others. We often forget about that fact. We got to realize that when I say yes to my woman, when I say yes to that person, guess what? I'm forsaking everybody else. I'm forsaking mama. I'm forsaking daddy. I'm forsaking everybody else. And I'm saying, you know what? It's me and you until the wheels fall off. I don't care what my best friend does. I don't care if the baddest woman in the world walks by me. Baby, you still the baddest woman to me. So
But
it
what?
does not matter about any of those things. And to answer your question on what I will accept and what I won't accept now, one of the things that I will no longer accept, which I don't have to deal with now, is lack of understanding or lack of support. Because
Ooh.
let's be real, when as African American men, a lot of the times we are constantly pushed down, we are constantly beat up on every turn that we look at. In the community, in the world, we are one of the highest risk as seen as a threat. And then we come home and we are treated with no respect when we get home as well. So what I'm not going to deal with is lack of respect and lack of understanding. That's just something that I'm no longer dealing with anymore.
Wow, that's good. James said something about understanding, and I used to not understand what my previous pastor was saying. He would always say, "Understanding is better than love," and I would look at him like he was crazy because you can love me all day long, but until you come in to understanding, until you understand me, what is that love? If you don't never get an understanding, we can never agree, we can never, so I like that understanding is everything.
Yeah, it is. The scripture even said it. How can two become one except they agree? We
Gotta
cannot
agree
become
first.
one until we first become on one accord and
That's
we
right.
agree that, okay, look, this is my deal breakers, this is your deal breakers. Let's come together and let's build and let's make this work through all eternity. Let's make this work. It's going to be me and you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
That's
you
It
what we
know,
got
starts
to
with agreement.
realize is that at the end of the day, it's not about building a relationship so that everybody else in the world can see us as relationship goals. Because let's be honest, if you look on social media and We look at all these relationship goals on social media. Let's be real and let's be all the way 100. Half of them aren't even happy as it is. So you got to figure out what your goal is for your relationship. Get in the Word of God and figure out what your goal is for the relationship. Don't try to get on a Beyonce and Jay-Z level. Don't try to get on a Barack and Michelle level. Figure out what your relationship goals is. Make it work. Because what works for Beyonce and Jay-Z is not going to work for you.
Yeah,
So,
because Jay-Z cheated and I'm not Beyonce. So I'm just gonna
right,
That's
put that
right.
out right
right.
there. There's a question. Who sets the standard for marriage in today's society in human form?
I say it comes from both. You both have to sit down and figure out what you are going to accept and what you're not. Now, as the man and as the head of the household, you do have to, as the man, we do have the responsibility of setting the standard in the beginning of how things are going to go. We set the standard of, okay, are we going to be all in or are we going to be all out? But the woman has the responsibility as well to accept what we are bringing to the table because as Corey said, women are definitely very important in a relationship. A man can build a house, but a woman can make it a home.
Mhm.
So that's what we got to realize is that you need each other to set that standard.
I just want to go back to Tay's comment, and I'm gonna answer the question because I'm a stickler for that. Washing your body is very important to me. There's a lot of things. This is a big one for me. You gotta have these or one of these in your shower. There's multiple ones that you can use. This is the best because it'll get all that impurities and all that stuff out of you in Jesus' name. Then we got. I just found this out. I love this. This is body wash vanilla and coconut. It smells amazing and it's good. Get this. Get this one. This is Smoky Mountain Vanilla. It's very good. These are the things that I used to wash with y'all in my shower time, but this is very good. And this is good. I love this. This is good. This is honey. This is yes, honey. So it's very good, right? Because washing your body is very important. It's crazy because me and my son's mom was talking today. I was with my son and I asked her, I was like, do you put deodorant on him and stuff like that? And she was like, yeah, because my son is disabled. I'm a strickler about you smelling good because you'll be blessed. The Bible talks about the smell of a woman, her incense, her essence. So you got to smell good. So for me, a deal breaker, I have to go with Tay on that one. If you think, and I'm big on that. I hate that. I'm sorry, I have to say it. I know hate is a strong word, but I hate that. I hate that thing where I don't have to shower because I washed last night. No, no, no. You need to wash at least twice a day. If not once, at least twice a day. Brush your teeth twice a day. Floss, all of that. That stuff is very important. Taking care of your hygienes is very important, especially if you're gonna be kissing and doing all the X, Y, and Z. You gotta smell good. One of my exes is on here too, so at the end of the day, they know like I'm big on that. When you come around me, you gonna smell me down the hall. That's just how I am. I love to smell good. I take pride in that. A deal breaker for me again is your hygienes. Um, I'm gonna say this, and I know the person's gonna take offense to this, but I'm just gonna be real. Um, Stop being have the spirit of offense all the time. Like being on the side of offense, like everybody's coming against you, or I can't stand that because that's like we're not communicating. Um, and your family being in our business, those are deal breakers for me. Uh, because if you can't make a decision on your own without the influence of your family, then we can't. No, I need you to have your own backbone. I need you to be big back and have your own backbone.
Not big back.
Yes, big back.
Come on, Darian.
My first deal breaker is cigarettes.
Oh yes,
Ooh. I
yes.
went to the gas station today. A grown man in front of me, I didn't know you could buy a carton. of Marlboro, whatever. And that cashier, I was just getting lottery tickets from my mama. And he said, "Sir, that'll be $96." I said, "This man just dropped $96 for a whole," and it came in the long boy carton unopened.
I know which one you
And I
talking.
and I said, "We gotta stop. That cigarettes we just gotta cancel the cancer sticks. You just gotta throw those away." Another deal breaker for me is lack of emotional intelligence.
Mm.
Especially, as a man, if you see me doing everything, between work or what have you, um, and you can't even ask, how my day was, or insert yourself to take the load off, even if it's simple stuff like doing dishes, or cooking, cleaning, because I cook my own food. But you know lack of, or just, if you notice I'm down, not asking me, basically, as you're in a committed relationship, or even a best friendship, you notice when that person is having an off day. So just being aware emotionally, like, hey, this, you're not as your usual self today, anything going on, or just picking up on those cues. That's deal breaker. Another deal breaker is caring too much, a little bit what Pastor Corey said, but caring way too much what others think, including your family. Um, if you have to ask your family to do certain things, in regards to the relationship, that's a deal breaker. Um, if your family gotta always tag along when we're going, like, especially in the beginning stages of dating, like, oh, let me see if my sister's doing, oh, or if we're on a date. Another one is, deal breakers is you ain't got to tell your best friend everything.
Oh, come on. Listen.
If we on a date and I see you pull the phone out and I say, "What you doing?" And you say, "Oh, I'm texting my bestie. Tell her we at the restaurant." That's a deal breaker for me. Because LaQuisha ain't dating me. I'm dating you.
Not LaQuisha.
So leave LaQuisha alone.
That's right.
Um, let's see, another deal, a complete deal breaker.
You got a
Um,
lot of them, Barry.
yeah, I do got a lot. That's why I'm single now.
He
Another
knows
deal
what he
breaker.
wants.
Again, the Cash App crew is an automatic block. The Cash App crew is an automatic. Don't
Facts.
ask me for a dang thing. Don't ask me for.
Not a dang
Um,
thing.
Facts.
don't ask me to, $20 gas money, ties and offering, nothing. Don't
Facts.
ask for nothing. The building fund, the problem is nowadays they want you to build their own building fund,
Facts.
and we can't. And like, Bernie Mac and them said, you ain't put a door on the church yet. So
But have you ever experienced this? Is it just me? Has anybody ever experienced? I remember I was talking to a girl, and she was on her way over, and she was like, "Send me $30 for gas," and then all of a sudden her tire blew out. You ever experienced that? Like, no, it's if you can't do it yourself, then you can't be with me. And it's not we're not and because I know women are gonna say, "Oh, you're insensitive." We're not insensitive. We're just tired of the bull crap. Like, my new motto is, I believe it when I see it. If you're here in front of my face, then we could do something. Other than that, no, no.
yeah, especially when you, if they see the check the GPS and it's over 20 minutes, it's like, hey, you got 15. My gas. It's always the gas tank low as soon as it's time to
Hmm.
come over.
Right,
And
right,
it's always an hour to 30 minutes before they supposed to be there. Like, you cleaning, you know what I'm saying?
absolutely,
You just get out the shower, you
absolutely.
uh putting the stuff in the closet that you don't feel like cleaning up, and then they like, they supposed to come at 8, around 7:15. Hey, I'm on my way, but
Hmm.
could you
Don't.
spare $15? My tire
Hmm.
just went out. Or
Hmm.
my gas tank on E, and you're a little bit far.
Hmm.
Where
Well,
y'all
Or
be
you
here's
could
getting
what I
just
would
tickets
say.
avoid
from?
that and just date somebody with a car. So you don't have to go there. They can come to you.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they drive into my place.
Cause nine out of
That's
ten, y'all want to
crazy.
come to our house anyway.
He want to go see if the
No.
house clean. He was
No, we've been there, done that already. But y'all want to come to our house all the time. That's why now I
but
date
wait,
girls who catch the bus and do Uber. That's it. We good.
Boy, say get that Indigo pass, that gold
Right.
bus
You know
pass,
what I'm saying?
the
Listen.
Greyhound. Come on, cool, go on
Right.
that Greyhound.
Amtrak. You will be,
I'm
I'll
trying
meet
to
you at
figure
Penn
where y'all
Station.
been getting these people from because I've never asked somebody, "Hey, I'm on the way. You got $20?" Man, if I ain't got $20 to get there, I don't know where y'all getting these people from. Like that's blowing me right
Maybe it's
now.
a northern thing. It's a northern thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we in the mid. I'm in the Midwest. Maybe it's just a
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe it's a where y'all yeah y'all
No,
in
that's all over. Trust
Jersey.
me, that's all over. I'm in the South. It's the
I've
same
never
way.
asked
It's just all
somebody.
over.
Oh,
I've
see,
never
it's
asked
something in the
somebody.
water. It's something in the
But
water.
That's
listen,
crazy.
All right,
listen.
Arthur, Nikki, Nicole.
Oh, buddy, y'all been having a hot conversation up here, Pastor Corey,
How you
about
doing?
submission. Let me tell you something. First of all, women have to have something to submit to. There's a lot of men out here that are women are taking care of these men.
I
The
said that too.
women are the head of the household.
It's true.
So, they don't have nothing to submit out here. They don't have nothing to respect out here. I'm not gonna say men. There are a lot of boys out here trying to fill men's shoes. I'll put it like
That
that.
part. Mhm.
So
Memphis
when
too.
it comes down to dating, I have a daughter, so I can experience this from firsthand, looking at the things that she deals with when it comes down to men. Supposedly, they don't come in a relationship correct from the beginning. They come in with no job. They come in wanting to depend on the woman to do everything for them. And my mom always said, when it comes to submission, first of all, you submit to your man when he's right, not just automatically because that's your husband. It's only when he's right. That's what the Bible says, right?
Mhm.
Come on with me. I want to hear some more feedback from you. Come on.
Go ahead.
Where's
Talk to
James?
me.
Because you a pastor. Come on, James.
I,
You gotta come back in here
I
Come on,
now.
got you.
talk to me.
I got you.
This conversation been hot tonight. I've been trying to get in. I had my computer had to load up and load back down. I've been trying to get in for about 30 minutes now.
Yeah, Auntie was marinating over there,
You are,
marinating.
I had to put my teammate.
you are
I said, go
definitely
in,
right,
go
Nikki.
in and start
Right?
one.
He said, "Come on, put me in, coach." It's a tag team.
You are
The
definitely
winner
right.
circle
You
ride.
got to give the woman something to submit to. We have to. Like I said earlier, a lot of the problems is we come to the table with these big ideas and these harebrained schemes, but nevertheless, when it comes down to putting the vision on paper and showing the woman like, yo, this is what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
Give me a few months. This is what's gonna happen. Then this is gonna happen. Then this is gonna happen. We don't do it. And women are visual creatures. They need to know point A, point B, point C, point D, point E, point F, point G, just to make sure that they don't get lost. And as men, we got to understand that sometimes instead of telling the woman everything that we got planned, sometimes we need to shut our mouth, do it, and then show the woman after it is done. Because sometimes the woman don't need to see all the work because that isn't for her to see. What she is supposed to see is the finished product. So we got to give the woman something to submit to. We got to make sure that we are coming to the table correct. We got to make sure that we're not coming to the table with empty promises. We got to make sure that we are coming to that table bringing everything that we are supposed to bring and showing that woman like, yo, I know you dealt with a lot of little boys in the past, but this is what a grown man is supposed to do.
It sounds
So
like
that's the way I
Pastor,
feel about it.
Pastor had some bad relationships. That's what it sounds like to me. You had a
Who,
lot of,
me?
yeah, a lot of girls in your life. You didn't have
Oh,
no women.
I can admit that. I always say that. But the scripture says here, because I'm going to look up the scripture, Ephesians 5:21-25. It says, submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. Wives, submit yourselves to your own husband as you do to the Lord. 23 says, for husbands, it's the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church, his body, which he is the Savior. Now, as the church submits to Christ, also wives should submit to their husbands in everything. Interesting.
Very, very interesting.
Husbands, love your wives just as Christ. Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loves the church and gave himself up for her. Now, that's interesting because I could have sworn. Let me see. Is it going to let me go through the whole thing? I could have sworn Maybe it was the version I was reading, but I could have sworn it said husbands submit to your wives also. But that doesn't say husbands submit to your wives. That's Ephesians. That's the scripture that everybody uses to talk about submission. So, as you said, and I agree, you have to
But
give
what it
your
does
wife
say is we
something.
got to submit to God.
Say it
So
again.
we got to submit. It does say that we got to submit to God.
No, what I'm
So in
saying
other
is
words,
it. It was. I could have sworn I read, and maybe it's not in in this scripture, but it said, "Husbands submit to your wives." It just says, "Husbands love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave
right,
Himself up for her." So basically, and now I get it when they say about divorce. So basically, that's saying that basically, if your wife does anything wrong, you're supposed to love her and overlook that
Exactly.
because that's what Christ does to us. So your wife could be nagging, your wife could be a whore, like the prophet Hosea had to marry the whore. That's an example. When when God told the prophet Hosea to marry the whore, who wants to marry a whore? A whore is somebody out there who's selling their body, giving their body to multiple men time after time after time. Even when she went back out there to go give herself to these men, he told him, get up and go get your wife. So basically, that's basically telling us tonight, we talk about submission. The wife is supposed to submit to the husband, and the husband is supposed to overlook the things that the wife does. And it goes back to the beginning of the book of the Bible where Eve ate the fruit, being distracted by the enemy, and yet Adam had to still love her and he couldn't leave her because he probably could have left her after that. He probably could have said, I'm not eating that apple, I'm leaving you. But he had to stay. So that's the same significance to us now as being
Who is he gonna leave her
husbands.
for?
I mean,
Ain't no other. There was no other women out there. Who he
it
gonna leave
was
her for? He gonna be by himself.
it
true.
actually what it actually was
You got Lilith.
it actually was some women, believe it or not. I'm actually
I didn't
studying
read. I
the lost
didn't
books of
read
the
that part of the
Bible.
Bible.
Well, no, I'm actually studying the lost books of the Bible. There's a lot of things that are in the lost books of the Bible that we do not that doesn't correlate to what we read in the Bible. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I
But it
already know about
wasn't.
those books that was taken
So,
out.
so the woman is supposed to submit to the man. He's the head of the household, even if the woman is running the household.
That's wrong. I think that's just wrong. A woman shouldn't
I mean,
run it.
I'm just asking. I'm just asking the question because there are women out there that's running the household, that's
I
paying the
mean,
bills while the man is at the house.
I guess that's why what you do in your household is what you set for your household. I mean, let's be honest. The woman is running the household regardless anyway.
Regardless. Yep.
So regardless of who making the money, the woman is running it. Hell, let's look at the Bible. Look, she ran Adam.
I
Look at
disagree.
Thomas.
But go
Look at
ahead.
Thomas.
I disagree. But go ahead.
But it's true.
Say what you guys say, Thomas. I want to hear it.
No, I want him to go ahead and finish
No, no,
because
no. I mean,
there's some
think
stuff
about
that
it.
I look. There literally is some stuff that I would like to say, but I really ain't really trying to either ruffle feathers or like twist things up because I think a lot of people get a lot of stuff twisted. The thing about it is the man is the head of the household. He runs the household. The woman maintains the household. That's the whole thing about it. And maintaining the household is pretty much doing the stuff that to keep the house up. The
What go into
man,
detail?
but yeah,
Go
but
into
of
detail. What is
course
that?
the keep house up. You know what I'm saying? The laundry, they'll make sure the cooking and cleaning. You know what I'm saying? That's mainly what women do. But I'm gonna say, but it's a but and everything. But the man definitely supposed to help because it is his house too. He lives there too. He should never let the woman just be doing all that stuff by herself and he just go to work, come home and just lazy on the couch and say, hey, where my food at? You know what I'm saying?
So,
Like,
so
no.
do you believe that the man, let's say you're married to Crystal and y'all married, do you believe that you should pay all the bills? He does nothing but stay home and do house chores.
No, I don't believe in that.
So you believe a
I don't
woman
like
should work?
yes, I do believe a woman should work.
Okay,
Think
so if
about
I'm
this.
maintaining the
Listen.
house, I'm not working because my job is to maintain the house.
See, that's why
Hey,
I threw that
listen.
out there.
But
Yeah,
he
but
got to be
listen
able
to
to
this.
take care of you too. If you gonna maintain the house, he got to be the provider,
Right,
and not many
right.
men.
If we
Listen.
working, we maintaining the house.
Not many men
Right.
like
But
it was back in the
hey,
day.
see, look, that right there tells you wasn't listening. I literally said the man needs to help. I didn't say that the man just go
Okay,
just
but
let the
No,
I,
woman
but
do
let's
you
just
everything.
say
said
I
that.
want to
You
play the
did
devil's
say
advocate.
that, but
Let's play the
you're
devil's advocate.
saying the man is the head of the house and the woman maintains the house.
That's what you
Yeah,
Whether
the
said.
he
woman maintains the
helps, you're
house. Yes.
saying the maintaining the house. So basically, you're taking on the bulk. I'm taking on the bulk of that role. So you should take on the bulk of the bills. Because if I'm taking on the
Hey,
bulk of that and I just help you, like you're helping me maintain the house.
okay, listen to this. Listen to this. All right, I'm gonna put this out there. What is paying bills? Is paying bills an adult responsibility? Do we all agree
Definitely.
that paying bills is an adult responsibility, right?
Of course.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sir.
So if we all agree that paying bills is an adult responsibility, and I don't see any kids in here, do I? We all adults here, right? Both men and women. Why doesn't women need to pay bills
I think
if
women
it's
do
an
I
adult
pay.
never said
responsibility?
we don't
I
have to
agree,
pay
Thomas.
bills.
I
I'm
agree with
saying,
that.
as far as your premise, if that be it the case, then if she's going to maintain the house and you do whatever, then she don't need to be working and maintaining the house too. Because there's certain roles that we do that y'all can't do, and vice versa.
And
Now,
okay,
that's
let me
true.
throw this out there. You said that the man is the head, right? You're
Yes.
working. What are you taking authority over? If she's maintaining the house, what you taking authority over?
You're still taking authority over the house because the decisions, like I was saying earlier, before, just before Nikki came in, as I was saying earlier, as far as decisions goes, we of course we make decisions together, but the man is kind of like he's more likely going to be the decision maker. He's going to be the one that's going to come with the decisions.
So I
A
don't
lot of
agree
time,
with that.
yeah,
That's wrong. That's
no, yeah,
wrong
but
teaching.
it's
Because
not
you're
wrong
saying
teaching.
to me that if you're married to Renee and you tell Renee, we're moving to North Carolina, I don't care what you say. That's that. I'm the
See, that's
man.
how you
I'm the
took it.
head. I make the
No,
decision.
no,
That's
no.
that.
That's
That's
not
wrong
what
teaching.
that's not what I'm saying. That's how you
So
took it.
so so what you
That's how you
saying?
took it. That's not
So
what
what
I'm
you
saying.
so what you saying? Because that's what you just said.
No. What I'm saying is most of the decisions gonna mainly come with the man. Women gonna come with decisions too, but most of the decisions come from the man because the man is gonna be like, hey, look, you know what I'm saying? Cause think about it, men, we set the foundation. We set the foundation in the relationship period and the marriage. So of
So
course,
if
in setting the foundation, we're gonna come with a lot of decisions. It's a lot of decisions gonna come through us.
so
You know what I'm
so if
saying?
Renee says to you, babe, I don't want to move to North Carolina, what's next?
We will come to a compromise.
That should have been the first step.
Because
Compromise.
I'm trying to get you to see what you're saying. Because you're
It's a
saying
team
that
effort.
what you're saying is to me what I'm getting, and maybe I'm getting it wrong, maybe I'm not understanding. But what you're saying, how you're saying it is that whatever the man says, if we're gonna use Bonner soap, that's what we're gonna use in this house, and that's it. That's what you're
That's what you
No.
saying.
said about the tissue.
Listen, leave me
Yeah, that's
Right.
what
alone.
you said
Okay,
about the
now,
Wilted
tissue.
Papa,
Northern
I heard you.
Leave me
I heard
alone.
you about the tissue.
and
Uh-huh.
Don
Let me okay.
Platinum.
So let me say this.
Quilted
Okay, now you
Northern.
just leave me
First of all, I'm
cold then.
Charmin
dating.
Ultra Strong.
I'm dating, and the woman I'm dating, we use the same tissue. So go ahead, have a seat. Go ahead.
Marry her, because
I,
Mhm.
that's the only
Yep.
one.
we gonna see. We
Yep.
gonna see. We gonna see.
No,
But
it's
to be
okay,
to
go
go
ahead, go
back
ahead.
to go back to everything, God is the foundation, not the man.
Absolutely.
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 So that's wrong from the gate. That's why whatever you say, I'm not submitting to, because where you getting it from? Your head or the head, right?
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, if God told you that we as a family, and this is in best interest of the family, is to move, then like Crystal said, there's a way to say it,
Yep.
and you have to come in a different way. Not, it's like you said, it's a difference between leadership and dictatorship. So
Of course.
you might have, or you have all the decisions, or whatever the case may be. God guides you so you can guide me, so I can guide the children.
Amen.
So in that regard, you say, hey, babe, I was in, this is how the conversation is supposed to go. Babe, I was in prayer and I was dealing with some things, and I asked God, what is the next move for this family? And as I prayed on it, he came to me and he told me X, Y, and Z. How do you feel about that? I'm
Absolutely.
supposed to respond. I'm going to pray and see if God tell me the same thing. Then we're going to have a conversation again and say, well, either I'm aligning with that because God going to deal with me either or, which way? God told me this. And then we come to a compromise.
Because
And
everything that people say that God said is not always
exactly.
what God
Better
said.
know that.
Exactly.
Sometimes people go by their emotions because you got a job. Just because you got a job opportunity does not mean it's God. Just because something looks better does not mean it's God. A lot of times, God does things that's opposite than what we feel. God will
Yeah.
tell you to move. You ain't got no money. How in the world that's gonna happen? If
Yes.
everything seems right, it's not God. And I tell people that. Anytime
No.
you have to deal with God, it's always opposition. And the reason why it's opposition, because the
Testing
Bible
your
says this.
faith.
The Bible is not the author of confusion. So now if your wife is saying one thing and you saying another thing, somebody didn't hear from God. And I'm gonna
Mhm.
say it again. I don't care what nobody says. It is 1,000,000% proven that a woman runs the household, regardless of what the man says. The woman runs that thing. Because look at Eve. Eve didn't do nothing sexual. Eve didn't entice him. She just said, "Take this fruit." And what did he do? He ate it. I always say that a woman has so much power over us men. A woman can make us do something that we said we wasn't gonna do, make us give something that we said we wasn't gonna do. I've seen it happen so many, not just from my experience. I've seen it happen in real life. And I just watched Prophet Todd Hall last night tell a man about his wife, and tell him that everything he has is because of her, and he needs to listen to her. That's the problem. We have this big headed place, and I can say that because I've been there. I was the type of person, you got to do what I say. No, doesn't work like that. Because then if you got to do what I say, then I need to be by myself and do what I say.
Absolutely.
What you need a wife for?
You don't need
Work
it.
together.
Because what we have to do is we got to remember that in order in a marriage, it is two becoming one. You
Absolutely.
separate from your way of thinking of I want it my way or the highway, and it becomes what is best for us. And that's what we got to remember is that when it comes time to deciding what is best for us, there's only three opinions that matter: mine, yours, and God Almighty. I don't care what nobody else got to say about our opinion because everybody else ain't in our marriage. We tied that knot and we made a three-handed cord, a three-stranded cord. God at the head, me as the next, and you after that. And if anywhere in there, if I come before God, then our marriage is doomed from the beginning.
Absolutely.
I've used this analogy when I preach, and I'll say it again. When I get up there to preach, and it becomes to the point to where it's about me and it's not about God anymore, then I need to sit down somewhere because I'm missing the mark.
Hmm.
And in a marriage, when I get to the point to where it's coming more about what I want and not what God is wanting to do through our marriage, no, I need to sit down somewhere because I'm missing the mark. And the problem with it is we have in marriage, we have too many eyes and not enough U's.
There you go. Let's see.
Can I ask a
The
question?
thing about it,
Can I go ahead? I want to ask a
I,
question because I
I,
keep hearing this. Leadership. And I'm asking you because you said it, because there's just a lot of things I just don't agree with anymore when it comes to all this stuff. When we talk about leadership, where are we leading our family to? As men, and I'm asking for us to answer. As men, when we talk about leading a family, where are we leading our family to? If you got a home, if you're paying bills and things are great, going good, where we leading to?
To
Where we
God.
get that from? Because a family that
We,
prays together, a family that devotions together, going to God, where and what are we leading to? Because where we get that from? I gotta look at that and see where do we get this from.
Well, I actually said this earlier. You know, the Bible says leave an inheritance for your children's children,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of us just leave trauma and bills for our children's children.
Mm-hmm.
So what you have to do again is we have to look in the mirror and say, first of all, from the jump, like what everybody's been saying, in regards to the submission thing, you have to look in the mirror and say, do you really want this marriage? Again, I asked this question a couple weeks ago. Do you really value God's time? And a lot of times we ask God for things that we really don't want. So first you have to sit down with your significant other and figure out, hey, where, again, like you just said, where are we leading this family? You know, sit down with your wife. Hey, where within the umbrella under Christ, you know, what role are we playing in leading this family to that promised land, or that where God wants us to be?
Because we got look, you got marriages now today where I'm married to Renee. She goes to AME church, and I go to a Baptist church. She's active in her church. I'm active in my church. She loves her church. I love my church. But the church says you got to go wherever your husband goes.
Yep.
Now there's confusion in the home because she's active. She's on teams. Who, if you're comfortable in your church and you done worked yourself up from the bottom up, a lot of people don't want to leave their churches. Now we got so much confusion in these marriages that is messing people up. That, well, you need to come. I'm the pastor. I'm a pastor. You need to come over here. You only got two members. You ain't got nothing going on. And now she got to come over here and use her expertise and try to get the church like it's gonna be an AME church, and it's not. Like we really gotta, it just hit me. Just gotta ask that question. Where the hell are we leading our families to? And I'm sorry to say like that because it irritates me when we use these things that we've been saying for years that really don't have no meaning or nothing to it. Because if it was, then where is the true definition of leading a family to where, to who, to what, to how? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Because
And
what we
here's
doing is
another
just having sex every night and having kids back to back, and we multiplying, and now we got to go get two, three jobs because we can't afford. Like let's. And I'm not trying to start nothing. I'm just saying. I'm just bringing the question because can we make it make sense?
So I have a question. What if neither of you are in the church like that? Then what?
Ooh.
That's a good
one.
question.
Or what if one of
Because
you are and the other one isn't?
because I'm going to use myself as an example.
Hmm.
Me, I'm not very religious. I've never been to church. I
me
believe in
neither.
God, but I've never been to church and stuff like that. So when I decide to get married, did that mean I'm doomed?
No,
Since
not at
it's
all.
supposed to be God, me, and then my wife.
Not at
Like,
all.
what does that mean in general for me?
You
It
have a.
means that
I tell people this, and I know this is going far fetched because I'm a Christian, but I tell people that you got to go for what's going to work for you. I would never try to make anybody believe what I believe or come to my church or say that my faith is the best. You need to come over here. You got to go for what works for you. Because whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Buddhist, whether you, whatever the heck you believe in, them folks believe whatever they believe. And I'm not here trying to knock you or tell you that I'm right, you're wrong. We got to stop doing that. So you got to find whatever works for you, whatever fits for you, and if I could be an instrument and a help to bring you to Christ, then I could do that. But that is not my ultimate goal to try to bring you in. You have to have your own experience with Christ. And I think that's what people miss, having a true experience to know Christ for themselves. We can tell you, but you have to have that experience for yourself to know Christ.
I
That's
Jay,
what
think
I would
what
say.
you
sometimes.
got to say?
What would you say?
I said, what you got to say?
I think sometimes also we going back to something that Darian said, where he said you got to leave an inheritance. for your children's children. Sometimes when we think of the word inheritance, we think of things, we think of shrinkage, we think of money. Inheritance can be being mentally stable. Inheritance
Mm,
can be seeing a healthy family. And
mm-hmm.
inheritance can be setting goals and achieving them. An inheritance can be walking stronger with God. That could be the inheritance that you are leaving for your children's children. So sometimes you got to look at the fact of that word inheritance and look at what is important to us. And as far as marriage goes, let's just keep it real. You gotta have a solid rock to stand on. You gotta have that rock to stand on because even though I've never been married, marriage is gonna be hard. There's
Absolutely.
gonna be days where you're gonna walk away, where you're gonna want to walk away, where you're gonna want to throw in that towel. But at some point, you gotta have that common ground that's gonna pull both of you back together and be like, you know what? No, you can't throw in that towel right now because this person is the person that I've got to walk in your destiny with you. This person is supposed to help you achieve its next level. And so many of us are missing out on our next levels because we've left somebody on over a petty little argument that could have been resolved. But instead of us having that resolve of sitting down, having that grown up discussion and figuring out what it was, we are ready to walk away at the first sign of trouble. Oh, I can find another one. One monkey don't stop no show. I can find me another one. No. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. You can find a lot of peasants, but you ain't gonna find another queen.
That's why it's important to have those conversations prior to marriage. You have to have counseling and do the things like we said in the beginning, because a lot of the times when you don't have the counseling and stuff, you're just walking into marriage prematurely. You
Mm-hmm.
don't know what's in store for you. You just think it's all, oh, it's we prepare for the wedding, but we don't prepare for the marriage. So it's important to surround yourself with couples who've been married. Surround yourselves with godly counsel, people that you trust, people who are on a level you're trying to obtain to, because you need to know what you're signing up for.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't, you're going to find yourself in situations like all of us are in that. Well, most of us are in now, divorced. That's how baby mamas, baby daddy start, because we've walked into something prematurely without knowing what it entailed. But on that note, you guys, I would like to thank all of y'all for coming on. I appreciate it. I thank y'all for who popped in. I appreciate y'all too. And we definitely have to do a part two with this. I would like to do something next month for men and women entitled Bridging the Gap. So if y'all are interested, let me know. We're gonna have another discussion.
Mhm.
And hopefully it won't be 2 hours, but I don't know. It depends on who on here. But I thank y'all for coming on, and I'm gonna give each one of y'all a moment so you could tell the people where to find y'all, because I know y'all probably got some fans now. And I'm going to start with Crystal,
Why you
and
always start
then
with me?
because you're the
Before
other
we go,
female, so you know you gotta represent. I'm gonna
but
start with
before we
Crystal.
go and do that, nobody answered Tay's question. Um, and I'm I'm very short of words. I'm not long winded. He asked the question, "Am I doomed
I
because
answered
I
it. I
don't go
said
to
no.
church?"
Yeah, Corey
Um,
answered it.
oh, okay. For some reason,
Yeah,
I
he
must
said
have.
he's not. He said he's not, and he's not going.
Okay.
Basically, telling him who is he to put him into heaven or
Okay,
hell.
sorry about that.
Basically,
I don't know why. I didn't hear it. But that's good. But you're not dumb because the church is a building. We
are
we
the church.
are well we are the church. The building is a building. Without us there, it means nothing. So just wanting to piggyback off that. You're not dumb. A lot of times most marriages fail in church.
A
Because
lot of them do.
everybody go to church, everybody churching, but ain't nobody changing. Just
That
Mm.
want to throw
part.
that out there. So stay focused. And I know we're supposed to be talking about life after divorce. There is life after divorce, getting back to the original message. So before we close, I just want to encourage everybody that is going through a divorce right now. may have been through a divorce, is dealing with something, there is life after divorce. Just because your marriage ended, your life don't have to end. You got to pick up the broken pieces, and broken crayons still color. You will find love again, you will find life again. But there is life after that. And you got to find your self-worth. Integrity arises from self-worth. So just hold your head up. That's all I'm gonna say. I do have a TikTok, IG, everything is Crystal Amore Graham. You can follow me here. And I'm based out of North Carolina, and I enjoy speaking to each and every one of you. If anybody got questions that you may want me to answer personally, in my opinion, just to reach out to me. And that's it.
Oh, his thing on? All right. Well, yeah. Hey, like I said, I enjoyed being on this show. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we definitely need to do a part two because there's still more things to talk about. But anyway, like I said, my name Thomas. We a co-host of Big Three Man Talk podcast. You can follow our podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and we have a YouTube channel. It is exactly what you see on the screen, Big Three Man Talk podcast. My personal ones, I have a Facebook. It's Thomas the Realist, TheRealRealIS, yeah, RealRealist. Croft was my last name. Then you can find me on IG is West Warren 83, WESTWARREN 83. Um, and I don't think anybody really got Snap like that, but I do have a Snapchat if you do, and it's the same thing, West Warren 83.
Hello, y'all. I'm Dark Law, founder of the Decree Dominion podcast. You can follow us on Facebook. Instagram is Decree Dominion 24. Also follow us on Spotify, TikTok, Dark Law Dominion 96. Appreciate having me on Blemish Beauty, and continue decreeing the dominion of your own mind. Thank you.
Hey everybody, listen, you can find me on any platform. You could just Google my name, Corey Jarena, and you'll find everything will come up. You could just put my name in Google, Corey, Corey and Jarena, Gerena. You can just Google me and put me in any platform, and I definitely will come up. All right. I look forward to connecting with you. Yahweh bless. And thank you for allowing me to be on your platform, Renee. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
What's up, y'all? My name is Tay, and you can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at No Cap the Podcast with two T's. You put one T, you're going to find me, but it's not going to be active. But I want to thank the Blemish Beauty Podcast for having me on. And I definitely would love to come back and just talk with y'all. So thank you.
All right, I'm Arthur Nikki Nicole of Breaking the Silence. Thank you, sis, for allowing me to come up here and break the silence once again. This was definitely a great episode, and I look forward to the part two. You can find me on all platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. Breaking the Silence 24. Thanks so much for having me again.
And I had to end it with Reverend James H. Glover III because you the Michael to my Janet,
Really,
and you have
really.
to tell the people about Monday. So I had to end
Look, I
it
tried to
with
get off of
you.
here, and she pulled me right back up. She's like, no, sir, come back up here. But definitely have enjoyed this conversation tonight. Unplanned, but I definitely enjoyed being a part of the Blemish Beauty. You can find me on Facebook under web JHG3 Studios. We are on every major social media site: Facebook, X, TikTok, Threads, any Instagram, all of that. We own all of it. and it's under Reverend JHG3 Studios. And Monday night on, dang, see me with the countdown, dang, dang, dang. Hey, I'm just shut up, dang. But Monday night, we will be on, Sarah Renee and I will be on We'll Talk Monday and having a discussion with Mr. Tevin Studdard. And we are excited about that. That will be on Facebook and YouTube on Monday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, I'm going to set up before I get the countdown again.
Y'all, I apologize. That is an insider between me and James. Whenever he do something he ain't got no business doing, I definitely put a countdown on. That is also a breaking the silence insider as well. Y'all have to go follow all of these people. Breaking the silence is like international. And again, I keep saying that. Y'all heard it here first. Breaking the Silence is an international podcast, and her production is top tier. But as always, you all, I want you to remember that you are graced and gifted for a time such as this. You have purpose in this world, and you have been created to do great and amazing things. So until next time, you all, have a good night.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and don't forget to leave a review. You can follow Shira on all major platforms and on YouTube at Shira Renee 510. Until next time, spread love, show grace, and shine bright.